hands.
Jazz hands for everybody but Maz. There's no Maz hands.
Every freaking week.
Do you know why?
Because I want my filter.
Because you want your filter.
Yes, 100%.
It's specifically the filter's fault. 100%.
Listen, I am a very private person. Y'all don't need to know what's going on in my bedroom.
Look, that's fair. I'm just gonna say, Vixie's rocking one. It's a thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's all good.
Whatever.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 4th episode and the culmination of our first series of our Megaman TTRPG series, where our lovely cast have been going through some narrative improv and building a world as they go, unraveling a little bit of a tricky mystery so far, and dealing with some squelchiness that goes against everything in their personal being, and maybe a little bit of self-discovery along the way. We'll see how it goes. But these folks need no introductions, but I'm going to give them one anyway. I'm going to start in the bottom right corner of the screen with Chips.
Hello.
Rocking a Wicked Blue Bomber helmet off to one side.
Yes, 3D printing is very dangerous hole to fall down, but yeah, it doesn't fit perfectly, especially with the headphones. So I am not going to be wearing it today. Maybe next time. But
I got to get you to make me one that actually has ridges for my headphone to go in, so this can just be the sides.
Surprisingly easy.
Yes.
I just didn't have quite the time that I thought I would have for it. So
it'll be okay.
Maybe next time. But yes, Fizz, I'm playing Chips, who is our Bard of Lore.
I love it.
And now we actually have some lore. So he's feeling pretty good.
You know, I made your rules easy because I'm asking you guys to design the lore as you go.
Lore!
One of the things that you have yet to experience is that I'm going to ask you to make a history check. And if you roll poorly, I'm going to ask you to poorly tell me about that history, and if you roll well, I'm going to ask you to deep dive it.
Oh boy!
Oh yeah, let's go.
There's fine, no pressure. We're
there
good.
Were a couple of times that I needed to just give you hints to move things along, but occasionally I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, Mirror, flex those not dump stats. Let's go."
Let me see. What do I get? Oh, that's a 19.
There you
go.
We're never gonna see that again.
We'll see. Let's jump over to Mirror.
Ooh, I was drinking something.
Oh,
no, it's okay. Hey everyone, my name is Blackwell. You know, the everyman of the TTRPG D&D verse here. I'm playing as Mirror, who's now a level 3 wizard. We making it. We're surviving. We're surviving. We living.
After nearly being killed by a leaf.
Oh yeah, that's my lore. that is my traumatic backstory.
How many hit points does your level 3 character have, Mirror?
14.
Yeah.
He's still here though. This is my first time playing as a wizard too, so I'm having fun with it. Spell management has been interesting.
I like it. What did you take for your level 3 spells? I'm a wizard aficionado.
I can only take...
I main wizard anytime that I get the opportunity, so I'm invested.
Well, my brain keeps going back and forth between keeping mage armor because the way my deck stat is set up, I mean, it's okay. It would do something. But to answer the initial question, I took Chromatic Orb.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
You get 2 spells when you level up.
Oh no, I only got 1. So when I took my level 3, it gave me 2 spells for my subclass.
Yeah.
And then I have 1 more spell that I can add into it.
So in total, that is strange. Because normally you get 2 spells every time you level up.
Yep.
And then more with your subclass.
6.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, your prepared spells only goes up by 1, but you should have been able to add multiples into your spell book for it.
I was going to sit down with you about that because I'm like, what would he technically have
we
figured
got
out?
you covered.
Because there's things I'm like, how does this work? Because I could pull some BS, but how much BS are you willing me to pull?
We'll get it. And you went divine soul or sorry, divination, right?
Yep, diviner. So what is it? Like I get a D20 that I can just be like, nah, we're gonna change this roll. I just felt like it'd be fun. Like I like my timey-wimey kind of manipulation based classes. They're always fun to mess around with.
Yes.
And I also took detect thoughts and see invisibility as my 2 spells as my subclass.
I love it.
Very nice.
Hesperia.
Speaking of wibbly wobbly and timey wimey, I will be playing. Hi, everybody. My name is Vixie Bell. I am going to remember my name tonight. Ampersands. Anyway, sorry, my friend Ampersands reminds me every day to say my name so that I don't forget it. Anyway, hey, everybody. My name is Vixie Bell. I'm your friendly neighborhood player here at the Logomancy table. I'm so excited to be here, and I will be playing Hesperia, your resident shiny, sparkly, extra metallic tiefling sorceress. And I recently leveled up to level 3, which means I can choose my subclass, which means I get to be a clockwork sorcerer.
Which means that as a sorcerer, you will have almost as many spells as a wizard could have. Just about.
Listen, you have the math kid on one side and the art kid on the other. I'm just saying.
Low-key shipped them for some strange reason.
I love
think
it.
they would work too. That's so funny.
Like I low-key ship them. It's like in my brain, I have a spider web of various ships. I'm like, would this work? Would that work?
All I'm saying is there's going to be glitter everywhere.
I love it. I like your spell choice for hitting level 3. It is very on point and thematic, and it had better contain like glittery explanations when you cast it.
Oh, 100%. Also, new Sailor Scout is going to be revealed because I have put a lot of Sailor Moon into this Megaman. Sorry, everybody who loves Megaman.
No, it's just getting a little Metabots in here, and that's fine. That is totally fine. We can cross the streams.
Let's go.
And what about our fine pulse over here?
Hello, everybody. My name is Maz, and this is my face, and you can find me all over the internet as Mazface. Don't find me in real life. That's weird. I am playing your Tabaxi level 3 Artificer Artillerist. And we're gonna have a time. Good or bad, we don't know yet, but it's gonna be a time that happens.
You're the tank.
Apparently. It was not my intention, but we're here now.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
You and Chips are both reasonably like tanky. So artillerist, because making things blow up. I was gonna say we were talking about lineages with this, and you were talking like Quick Man because Tabaxi, but really Crash Man was the super fast make things explode one.
Yeah, I thought about that after the fact.
That feels very like it should be the correct path for it.
Yep.
Right? I got the pointy hands, got the blowing things up, got the chaos.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was wearing my my Iceman socks yesterday, and I thought, oh, I get to play Megaman tomorrow.
I love it. Has anybody here not played with an artillerist before?
I have not. This will be my first time.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay.
I'm just gonna stay out of the way.
I saw it under the subclasses, and I'm like, well, that sounds like me.
No, artillerist is like my favorite, hands down, because it's, what do you mean I get a laser beam? What do you mean I get a flamethrower? And what do you mean I get a shield array that can just bloop around everybody at level 3, and it costs me nothing? And what do you mean I can make it explode on command?
It's a good time. Okay, but can we make it out of glitter though?
I mean,
we are roommates. Like at some point, we're gonna have to test this.
Listen, we can talk about it.
I feel like Mir is gonna see how far he can trick that out. He's just gonna see it, be like, huh. Did you check this though? You know you can get more power if you add in this.
I don't know if I did this wrong, but it would only let me pick through first level spells. I did not have the opportunity to pick a 3rd level or 2nd level spell. I only have 1st level spells.
You
I don't know
are
if it's
only
just 'cause
3rd
I
level.
did it wrong.
It's because you're only 3rd level.
You can't use 2nd level spells when you reach above a 2nd level?
Correct. You are a quartercaster, my friend.
I don't get it.
You cast spells like a ranger and a paladin.
I get it.
Listen, somebody's got to run a D&D campaign one day that's Oops All Rangers and call it the Power Rangers. Just because. Just because.
Listen, with the dragon, with the subclass that gives you a dragon, you could do that.
The Drake Warden.
So artificers don't get access to 2nd level spells until 5th level.
Wow.
And
Well,
they
that
don't get
makes me
access to 3rd level
cranky.
spells until 9th level.
Why?
Because you're a quartercaster. You have
Yeah, I
infusions
get
and
it.
laser
I
beams
get
and a
it. I mean, I do
goddamn
get it. Just
gun.
makes me cranky.
They gave you a gun. You traded your spells. Sorry.
I
No.
cast
I'm
gun.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go off on
Sorry.
this for just a moment, and then we're gonna jump into this because
Yeah,
Please.
sorry. We're chaotic.
the
Ah.
best
late.
thing in the world, and I based a whole D&D campaign when we first started the channel about it, is if you take 1 level in artificer for medium armor proficiency, shields, and con saves. Artificer specifically written that when you multi-class, it counts as a full level of a caster rather than a half level of a caster, like a paladin and everything else. Which means you can go level 1 artificer, level 2 to 19 as wizard. So you're giving up 1 level for armor proficiency, for shields, for access to spells that wizards never get. Because in the rules, if you find a scroll of something and it's on your the spell list for a class that you are, you can roll to cast it. Or if you have the spell slots to do it, you can just use it. You don't have to roll about it. So artificers get a really cool spell list that doesn't come online until later. But if you're like a 5th level wizard, 1 level artificer, and you're just picking and choosing, being like, of course I can heal people. I'm a wizard. I have access to all those spells because I was a grease monkey back home. Like, let's do this. You increase your variety and your capabilities enormously, and then you're a wizard walking around with like an 18 to a 20 AC at all times and a gun if you want to go that route.
I cast a gun.
I
I cast Gat. Let's do this. So
I have some ideas I will run your way if Mirror ever shows up again.
right, there's very little downside to dipping artificer at 1st level.
I was gonna say,
dipping
Mira's
it afterwards
best
is a
friend
problem.
is an
Yeah.
artificer. I'm sure she could teach Mira how to build some cool shit.
Yes.
If we both take like points in wisdom and artificer, it's gonna be funny.
I'm gonna keep trying to make tea. What could
So-
go wrong?
Mirror doesn't have enough hit points. Good thing I'm not out of bullets. I've got a spell slots, but not bullets. It's like, I don't need spell slots when I'm rocking these guns.
Oh,
I dipped monk. Now, that said, as we enter into our scene, you guys hoofed it down the road, hauling a sled that was kind of full of bodies and old tech and just like a bunch of scrap that you salvaged, because frankly a lot of it's worth a fair bit of money. The robot parts specifically, the bodies of the hunters, not so much with the monies, but more of the respect and everything else. Mirror, it's the next day. Where are the 4 of you sitting? Reminiscing. It's a social place. Where is it? What's it called?
Huh. Give me one moment. Let me hit up my good friend name generator.
Come on, improv me. Let's go.
Come on.
Come on. No
just
crutches.
for clarity, we have cleared the butt.
You are. You are back in Saul.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
okay.
we're back home.
That's
yeah.
what I wanted to clarify.
you're
'cause I was like,
back
we
in
were hauling
Saul.
a sled, but are we like,
Yeah.
like
You
So
you
it's
hauled
called-
everything home. You've made it home safely. There is a social gathering place in this village.
What's called
What-
the Blue Flare.
The blue
The what?
flare.
The blue flare.
I like it. And Hesperia,
Hi.
who is the proprietor or proprietress of the blue flare? This third space that you have.
Ooh. I think the proprietress name is Celeste.
Okay.
And they're maybe like a deep blue colored, like I'm trying to think erase me. I think they're an orc, like an orc chassis, like deep blue orc chassis.
I do love me a muscle mommy. What can I say?
Yes, muscle mommy, just for you.
Ooh. That would make him like a storm giant, kind of like adjacent.
Yeah. So you're sitting in the blue flare. And is that FLAIR or ARE? Because is it 32 pieces of flare or is it like flare? Either way,
both.
it's explosive. So
Spirit
Why
fingers.
not both?
I feel like depending on who you ask, it's either or it's like something's going off. There's some like bi-monthly. There's this grand display thanks
I
to
like it.
posts.
Once
Like,
a week they have Pride Night, and they call it
Yes.
the other thing.
And then they
I
have
like
but then there's spoken word night.
I like it.
mhm. and
Slam poetry.
and then
Yes.
bi-monthly, there's like this big like what is it? Like flare God. Why can't I remember?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. Why is
Fireworks.
fireworks not coming to my
Some days it be like that. I'm not even gonna lie.
This is grand fireworks display that they just show like different like how far they've come, different images like some of the kids wanted to make. Like it's like a whole kind of like everybody get together. This is like our village bonding time.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say Chips, I'm stealing this from your lovely partner. Celeste is a heroin addict. She is addicted to heroines and all of the lovely, strong, capable women that embody them, and
Yes.
is completely obsessed with stories of lady hunters. Love it.
So like, but like, are there lady hunters on the wall obsessed, or is it like we can start a conversation with a famous heroine and we just have her talking for hours?
Offers hunters that come through lodging for stories, kind of deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Not never untoward, never creepy.
Gotcha.
Always a little fanning though.
Little
So,
fangirl. Got it.
You guys are within the blue flare, and there's a number of people literally crowded around you because there are no hunters in this town other than you.
Now,
Well, I mean, even those old hunters, they weren't from your village. They weren't from this area.
well, that's what I meant. I mean, like we are
Yeah.
now the hunters of our village.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
As of yesterday.
You took that cart over to Phantom and dropped some stuff off. He's going through with Chips. What's the name of one of the elders in the town? One of the leaders of the town.
We'll say why not? I'll go with Bricks.
Bricks. I love it.
Perfect.
What kind of chassis is Bricks?
Bricks is actually has to be a gnome chassis.
I love it.
I love it.
More gnomes.
Fantastic.
We need more gnomes in
We
in
love
this
a
world.
gnome.
Yes. I'm gonna say that known for having a much larger, sturdier chassis, but ended up just not quite fitting his personality. He was a little bit more delicate and friendly with the kids, and more of a fatherly figure, not a rough and tumble bodyguard kind of guy.
So
No.
you remember the very first intro level of Megaman X, where you get to hop into that like ride armor? Bricks has one of those, which is just like, I'm a gnome, and now I'm a gnome in a mech.
Fantastic.
Oh my god. I need somebody to make that an 8-bit, please. I need to see it. 16. Make it 16. I need
Oh
to
my
see
God.
it.
16-bit is the sweet spot, really.
Yeah. Yes, it
I
really
will
is.
say, I've been experimenting with different filters and affinity because I'm not going to use anybody's headshots anymore. I'm going to use the 8-bit filter and
Perfect.
pixelize your faces.
Just
I love that.
pixelize our hilarious. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
just my brain went back to the mecha, and I'm just like, the mecha's name is K Dot.
K not.
K dot
You
K-
gotta do it.
dash D0T.
Yep,
Perfect.
K dot. I love it.
Love it.
because it's a dwarf, and depending on the dwarf's personality.
Or it's a gnome, actually. I get them
Gnome.
confused.
Gnome chassis.
But the ride-on chassis is an old dwarf chassis that was cut in half. So it's just the legs. And that's called a K dot.
Yeah, and it gives them like
Hilarious.
an extra 3.5 inches of height over being a regular gnome.
Yes. Fantastic.
It's a friggin' huge gnome.
I feel like there's been several conversations about it's like I could just make you heels, man. Like I could get you some bigger boots, and he's like, "Fuck your boots."
It's fair. Keeping them just
Yeah.
chunky.
But what if they
go-go's.
were Heelys with the wheelies?
Hilarious.
Yes.
Then we're talking.
He's
Come on.
interested.
My
So
kid.
you've dropped off your salvage at with Bricks and with Phantom. Phantom being the resident Sawbones, your junker. You're not sure what kind of a chassis Phantom has because it seems mishmashed at the best of times based on what's available. Like Phantom just had a slightly different arm at some point.
Well, I
and
mean,
a
you have
slightly
to test
different leg.
everything, right? You have to test things out if you're
Exactly.
going to be outfitting the next generation of the kids. Once they grow up a little, and
Exactly.
they want to make sure.
I feel like his general chassis is like an elf, but because like we said, he's kind of the one dealing with the beings that's passed on. He has a tendency to like put stuff on him, but sometimes he forgets that, hey, you still have this piece. Okay, I guess he's using that now.
I like it.
One gnome arm and one, giant arm. And it's like, hi guys.
It's going to do some work, and it's like 2 halfling arms and then 2 Goliath legs, and you're like, hello.
And I
Oh,
just
God.
I
kind
am
of
not a
picture him.
T-Rex.
I just kind of picture him on like a motorized arm, so he's just constantly moving around
I like that.
his space, and then he comes in and looks at you, and he's got really big eyes.
I love it.
I'm down. I
Very caterpillar like.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you're sitting around this place or around the blue flare. You've dropped off your scrap and your salvage, and they're seeing what can be taken aback. If there's any information, you guys had all expressed an interest in trying to find out or extract something from those hunters. And it takes a little bit of time. It's a reasonably complicated process. And Phantom was not ready for your he's not ready for you yet, essentially. Is not going to be doing anything without your presence there. It just wasn't ready. The robots and all of the salvage that's there, Bricks is going through and cataloging and seeing what can be recycled for the good of the settlement first, and if there's anything that essentially isn't already going to go to repairs and parts and or is just oh, this is weird tech, here, Pulse, see what you can do.
Here you go.
Right,
You got dibs.
Look, sometimes you just don't need these extra solar panels over here kind of thing, or these sprockets, but somebody does at some point. How are you going to make solar powered laser guns without solar panels? Come on, it's a thing.
I'll take what I can get.
Around you is a crowd of no fewer than 20 people, Celeste included. This is kind of a strange establishment because it looks kind of like a creative arts quad than it does like a tavern or something like that. Because there's no food here, there's no meals, there's no liquor, there's nothing like that. It's more just an open space. There's chairs, there's places to sit and be creative and swap stories and talk and share. that isn't centrally focused on putting the thing in my mouth hole, right? And when you take that away, you get college art quad.
I mean,
no
true.
outside food or drinks.
Yep.
There's a small area of the corner that is rocking some energy pods. Not Tide Pods specifically, only energy pods of various shapes and sizes. Your rations essentially come out of this place. Celeste is responsible for harvesting a lot of that energy and then bottling it for all intents and purposes. Everybody does a job. Everybody contributes. Everybody, pays back. Good old solar communism.
Yeah.
Fully automated.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because the automation is here because you're the robots.
Right.
Exactly.
We already have automation.
We are the automation.
Right.
You just let your robo workers go until they break. Right?
Oh no.
Oh no. That said, Pistol's there.
Pistol.
And has not blown anything up just yet.
Oh,
Yay.
good. I'm
What
so
are they?
proud.
The day is young.
And Data's there. And Data has asked no fewer than 12 times, so when are you leaving?
Oh,
Right.
God.
We just got home.
Yeah, but you're adventurers, you're hunters now. When do you leave? Can I have your room?
She just looks at this child and says nothing, unblinkingly.
She's matching you stare for stare and not blinking.
Oh,
This is a fun game.
do you have any idea how far away your own house is from mine?
Well,
Any idea how much work we put into our space?
Right? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's too dangerous.
it's why I want your room.
No, you can't have my room. You can't have it. Right? Now go sit
She
down.
kicks an imaginary fluff ball on the floor. Like, whoa,
Right.
jeez.
Why are they
my
like
nibbling. I didn't raise them. It wasn't me.
this? Oh goodness.
Some of the
Blame my
other settlers are like, yeah, what's your next move? Which crazy ruin are you going to go to now? That's what you do, right? That's how hunters work, right?
Well, right. Here's what I've gathered. Is you go to one place and you learn a thing that maybe will lead you to another place where you might learn something else, and so on and so forth. Right now, we're still trying to figure out the first thing that we learned to figure out where we're going next.
And like Catawampus in the background, everybody's like, oh my God, like, that's amazing. Like, we didn't know any of that. Oh my God. You're blowing minds literally out their butts. Right
Okay,
now.
but listen. Should we tell them that the ship was shaped like a butt?
I mean, it was kind of round. Like, it's
Why
not.
is that? Why
You've
is that
got
the
buildings-
descriptor?
You've got buildings in
Hey.
town that are round, dome sort
Remember-
of shapes.
I don't know. I spoogle searched it once, and that's what it looked like. It's
Did
old.
you call
and
it
it's old.
Spoogle search?
I
Yeah,
did.
this is right. That means mostly just poking
Poking the butt,
poking mirror. Hey mirror,
yes.
can I spoogle into your
right in
child?
the cheek.
I'm sorry. Because I don't know if you've ever read webtoons, but that's how they get around branding stuff.
I mean, yeah, no, we
They
got the
call it
joke.
something else.
We got the joke. It was
Honestly,
funny.
Vixie, I'm a
Googled it.
Switch streamer. It's like that has very different
Yeah.
connotations from the other areas of my life.
Legally distinct.
But Catawampus all around, just like small conversations, people being like, "Oh my, this is so amazing!" Like, you are suddenly celebrities, and everybody needs a piece.
Yeah. And I think we tell them I mean, I have no problem telling them everything.
Yeah,
I think as people are coming up to us and wanting to know more, Mirror's
Like-
doing his usual like pulls up window, share.
Yeah.
Like before they start like bombarding him with questions, he's just like,
Here's
nope.
the
The
catch
ultimate
up.
introvert. Don't talk to me.
Here's the zip file.
Yeah.
Open the zip file.
Here are
There's
the
your
footnotes.
Here's the clip
I'm-
notes.
I'm basically relying on Mirror to do the illustrations, but I'll start going, kind of bring up some performance and some public speaking and really like not ham it up, but I will.
Yes, you are.
I lean into it. Like I'll like
100%.
the energy coming off of the crowd is
That's amazing.
feeding me in the same way that the initial spark of adventure was egging
Tell
me
me-
on.
Tell me you're wearing the hat.
Of course.
Ah, yay. Even
I think
better.
as Chips is like explaining all this stuff as well. Anytime he brings up something that Mirror didn't like put in the zip file, he immediately sends it out before someone can ask him, or he'll send out a notice to everyone like, talk to Post, talk to Hesperia.
Why me?
I think I'm holding the how do I say what this is? The headbutting robot? That's all I'm gonna say. That one. You know the one.
Well,
Yeah.
because
Is it still
that's not,
headbutting?
well,
Yes.
well,
No,
yeah,
it's
because
not on
that's
right
not
It's not on right now.
No, you
It's
shot
not-
it.
it's not really sentient. It's more of a training
another one.
robot.
Yeah,
So I
it's,
mean,
it's a machine.
yeah.
I
So
took
it's not.
another
It's
one.
maybe a little bit macabre, but it's not like disrespectful to.
No, right. And I did take another one that I didn't shoot.
And you're
Yeah.
still really nice to them. I mean, you're probably like saying like, look at these rivets.
They're my children now.
Oh, like
And Pistol's like, it's got a head like mine.
Uh-huh.
it does.
Right. It's exactly what I thought of the very first time I saw it. Why did you think I took
Do
it
you
home with
think
me?
that's what
Will my
happens to
head grow
problem
feet
children?
when I don't have it attached to my body anymore?
If Hesperia's right, if you become a problem child, so you better be good.
There is a flash for a moment as this child considers the trade-off
Oh my god!
of like, on one
The
hand,
possibilities.
I could have feet attached to my chin. On the other, I could die.
Yeah, basically, right. um, but like, I think as he's saying that and asking about, oh, that matches my helmet, Pulse did think of that when she first picked up
Mhm.
this machine, and she kind of thought, well, we repurposed everything from everywhere in the past and everything.
Mhm.
So where did his helmet come from?
So, much
Which is
like,
something that she would
Yeah.
like.
much
wonder.
like what all of you have gone through, you have like art is weird in both real life and in this world, where who taught you how to mix blue?
It was in my
some
programming.
yeah, but like and in real life it's like, all right, well, you know that there's like color theory and stuff,
Right.
but who decided that these horsehair brushes are the appropriate thing to use, or that shape or style of brush? And sometimes you can trace it back to like, oh, there was a culture or a civilization that did it, but like most of the real specific things get lost, where it's like some people have triangular parts to their helmets, some are more angular, some have the round over earpieces. Like Mirrors, we had talked about, is very like you'd said Blue Bomber coded, right? Like very Copy X coded.
Yeah.
And that was just a like, oh, that looks cool, that's my vibe, let's go. And some of those helmets are going to be more like round and broad. The Sniper Joes that you saw that have like, they're not quite the same as what Pulse has, but it's kind of similar. It's just a very similar sort of design. It's like you're looking at a broad brimmed hat from modern day versus like the 1300s. There's going to be a lot of similarities where it's like, oh, he's wearing a fedora too. But they're not. But you can
Yeah,
see the
okay.
similarities there, right? The coloration and shape, it's like, oh, that's a really weird coincidence. It doesn't look exactly like they hollowed out a meat and just like
No.
put it on their head, but you're like, huh, side by side, that's kind of a strange coincidence. Look at that.
Pulse doesn't like it.
Mhm.
Pulse doesn't like not knowing where things come from because that's her whole deal.
Mhm. Well, and
But
the
this
design of
is
your helmet,
fashion, isn't it? Isn't this fashion?
it is technically. I mean,
So
every person kind of has a say in what their helmet looks like.
Yeah.
It's like a superhero designing their costume. They might take inspiration from one thing or another, but like Hesperia, you remember long and hard, agonizing with what I'm sure were many beads and hot glue guns
oh yes.
over like the design of
Bedazzling.
your helmet and like bedazzling everything that you could possibly do, from the shape and the size and the fit. It's a very personal thing, and some kids would go through and be like, I want it like that one, and they point to somebody that they love or that inspires them or whatever. And there are, due to the freedoms afforded to these children, there are some really unfortunate circumstances where you get like a child will choose the gnome chassis but want Jesse from Team Rocket hair coming off the back of it as part of their helmet and be like, yeah,
It looks like a troll doll.
Yes.
right? Or it just like loops to the back and drags on the
Yep.
ground kind of thing. Like it's
Yep.
really unfortunate. And more often than not, common sense prevails where it's like, hey, yeah, like you can dress how you like. However, like, you know,
Mhm.
there's a little bit of common sense and cultural norm that goes into it. So, but Mirror, something catches you. You're trying to avoid like talking directly with these people, and you're just like, okay, here's the information you've requisitioned. Leave me the fuck alone. And
You're running the PowerPoint.
yeah,
Yes.
Pretty much.
And-
It's like that sense of there's too many people and they're all about to ask me the same question 5 times over because
Yes.
they didn't listen to the first one.
I cast
We're not
FAQ.
playing this game.
Like, I don't want to tell the same story. You came in 5 minutes after I've already started. I'm not catching you up.
Sorry.
I'm not starting
no.
the story over.
this older looking Reploid, long skirt, tall pointed boots,
Ooh.
long flowing hair coming out of the back of like a tiara like or a circular like helmet, is holding up a data pad in front of her, just like what you put right up here. It's just when she holds it, it looks like a tablet in her hand. She says, like, this doesn't add up. This doesn't make sense, Mir. I think you got this wrong.
I whip my head around at the thought of Mirror ever getting anything wrong, and I am fascinated by everything this woman is about to say.
Do we recognize them? Like, do we know them?
From our village?
She is your neighbor. What's her name? Does Mirror know her name?
I would say he does know her name.
Okay, all right.
I
I would have given you a pass.
No, I think he knows her name. I feel like Stella.
Stella.
Ooh, Stella
I like it.
Fista.
What Stella's point, she's like, because you've cataloged all of this, you're like, and then we did the thing, and then we went to this place, which is specifically right here. Everything in here is technically accurate, the best kind of accurate to be. And she's like, you left out the part about like fucking why. You just all of a sudden decided that that was the place to go. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you go to a mine? You don't need to mine.
She's openly saying this to him.
Like, she's saying this, and the rest of the crowd is like, yeah, Mira, why? Like, you are on the spot. There are 20 people looking at you, waiting for your audible words.
Huh. I wonder, is there a way for him to like big billboard like materialize behind him, and then big like
oh yeah, yeah.
comics.
You're like you pull out the extendy pointer thing, and it's like first of all,
big Comic Sans font,
Comic Sans.
like to add the point of why he's doing it, and the two words that pop up there with ending in a question mark. Why not?
roll a persuasion check.
Hesperia will throw glitter to help make it like more dramatic.
At advantage.
Yes.
Pulse says nothing, but shoots Mirror just in their DMs, just the words "ghost in the machine."
I'm so glad you gave me an advantage too.
Yeah, I immediately remembered that.
Glitter.
Because if you didn't give me that advantage, that would have been a 7 + 4, but this is an 18 + 4.
Let's go.
All right. With an 18 + 4, you say, why not? Which to any, like to you and to all four of you, you're like, yeah, like makes sense.
That's kind of why we wanted to go. It was there.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd just like, they look at you and they kind of like do the dog thing and cock their head to the side. And they're like whispering among themselves, and they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but like you can't tell me you aren't just the slightest bit curious about what's out there, right?
I mean, we saw other hunters come through our village and remembered the mine, and
Yeah, but they were weird. Like, but
We're all
you
weird.
guys weren't weird.
I think when Mirror hears that word weird, he immediately sends out other coordinates of like other places similar to the place that they went to, like landmarks and things like that. And I think that's when Mirror starts talking, and he's just like, there's knowledge out there, things that we have not seen or understand, things that we can be witness to, things that we can unearth and bring back to the surface.
You're making this statement, this argument, and passionately so. And you notice like a quarter of the people have left.
Oh.
And like Mirror is making this proper, accurate, like well given plea of like the world is amazing and big and like vast, and the people that are around you were like, oh, like, but you have everything that you need right here. Like you don't need to go outside.
But do we? What about new things? What about things I haven't built everything. We don't have everything. What
I think Mirror will pull up a file about stagnation and how it's actually crippling to a society. How when people stay in one place too long and don't really move around, it's not. He's basically going in that sense of you can stay in one place, but then you got to move to another place and another place, and you can come back to the place that you started at, but you can't just stay there. You need to move. You need to visualize things. You need to see things in order for you to progress, in order for new things to be built. If you're comfortable, I think he at some point would say, and you know, again, as Mirror, he would say, if you're comfortable with this, and he gestures towards the colony, this is fine. You are allowed to be comfortable with just this.
Mirror,
for those,
as you turned and like you were showing examples of stagnation on your chalkboard, so to speak, because the chalkboard is the vibe. As you turn and you say, if you're comfortable with this, and you like go to gesture to everything around, turning around, there's nobody left but you guys and Celeste in the room.
I think at this point, Hesperia puts a hand on Mirror's shoulder, because I think she's just been watching people just leave.
Hail hydrate.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're hydrating.
Cheers.
And it's a very comforting hand.
Yeah.
As that she puts on his shoulder, and she says, I don't think that they are very receptive to what you have to say. But
Well-
I think what you were saying was really poetic and well put together. It's probably the most I've ever heard you talk since we've been friends.
I think if her hand's still there, he's just gonna like tap it and squeeze it for a second before saying, "We could have died, but we didn't.
It's true.
We went to an underwater passage. We found a hallway,
A dirty underwater passage.
The dirtiest.
Ugh.
and it was invigorating to get dirty like that, to be in confrontation like that with someone, to find this room with old tech, to see that video of a life that I don't even know if that was accurate or not, but it tells of a different time. Maybe, possibly.
I
There's
think you're
so
right.
much out there that, like, I think he looks at Chips at this point. If you didn't get that urge to go, me and you would still just be here, sitting at one of the sun silos, watching it twirl, watching the wind come by, rustling the grass. This life here is, it's a pause.
Boring.
Yes,
That too.
I mean,
dull.
15.
It's
Celeste
there's no
leans in
life.
and she says, I think the word you're looking for, Mirror, is sufficient. This life is sufficient.
For them,
It is.
yes.
It has
I
everything
disagree.
that you need for safety. It has everything that you need for community. And, you know, we're safe here. We're content here. We're happy here. We can do everything that we want to do here.
I would argue, right, that's efficient, but is it sufficient?
Well, I mean, we don't run out of power. We don't want for anything, really. Nothing prevents me from doing anything that I want to that isn't going to harm anyone. And she's
But what
just like
about
leaning on the countertops, kind of like bartender-esque. And
But what about the
she's
rest
like,
of the world? Like other planets, other societies, cultures, and groups of people.
I hope
there's-
they're all doing okay.
Right, but you have zero interest then.
My friends are here. My family's here.
Okay,
would-
right.
Like, I mean, here's
And
the
that's
thing.
fine. Right, it's not why I'm asking.
Like we could move this place. Seems like a lot of work. I mean, if something bad happened and we had to, like, I know that there are other places out there, and you do what you got to do. But why would I do that?
Why not?
I think Mirror, if I may, I think Mirror's argument wasn't to just pack up the entire colony and leave.
Mhm.
I think the argument was for people to leave and come back with what they've learned.
Yeah, but I mean,
If
You're opposed to learning new things.
no, like not at all. It's been really interesting hearing you guys' stories. I thought it was really cool that you found like a bunch of stuff in that old mine. I thought that we had gotten like all of the resources that we could out of it. Maybe there's more there. Maybe that'll be really helpful. That's cool.
But you think it's weird that we want to do that?
It
Right, I mean, that, like you're saying, that could be an advantage, and if we decided not to leave, we would still be here. We
Mhm.
may not have untapped resources that we've now found.
Yeah, but I guess the place where I get confused is like we stopped mining because it wasn't safe to keep going, and we got the stuff out of there that we needed to, and we don't need that place anymore, so it can probably just go away.
Right, but it won't.
Yeah, but like if it did, it wouldn't affect us at all.
Let me ask you a question, Stella. Right.
I'm Celeste.
Celeste.
Yeah. This is the bartender, like leaning down over, offering her 2 cents.
Yeah,
Stella-
Celeste is the
Stella
bartender.
fucked
Stella
off
was
with
the
rest of
neighbor.
them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were still speaking as the neighbor.
No,
That's
no,
why
no,
I
no.
was confused.
No.
Okay.
No. This is
Then never mind.
Celeste just like having questions. Celeste isn't trying to convince you you're wrong. She's like, I genuinely like, I don't get where you're coming from.
No, the reason that my next point is now irrelevant because the reason I thought it was still Stella, which is why I was going to ask if you don't see the point in this, why didn't you leave with the rest of the crowd? Why are you still here asking us questions about it?
Sense.
But she left.
Yeah.
So I'm not null and void.
Yeah.
I think
And you guys would have caught this while Mira was speaking. And it was much to the tune of like, oh, I guess that's why they're hunters and we're not, I guess. Or like, who just wakes up and decides to like leave home one day? Isn't that like those kinds of like murmurings amongst the crowd?
Who
Not
wakes up
from-
and decides to leave home? It elicits like a a glance at Chips, like literally looks at Chips,
Right.
like, well.
And like Pistol and Data are gone too. But their comments were more like, had plans for that room.
I think
Big
funny,
plans.
I think for Mirror, I don't think he takes it as like, it's like contextually he knows, like logistically he knows, like,
Mhm.
okay, they're just not feeling this, it's not their vibe, cool.
Yeah.
Mirror's not an emotional person.
Mhm.
And I would feel like everyone here knows that, like they know he's not that much of an emotional person.
Mhm.
Or outwardly emotional, if
Hence why the
anything.
talking was such a surprise, like you talking that much.
But I think y'all would physically see him just look sad at just this direction the conversation is going, the emptiness of the room. Like, all intents and purposes, I imagine the energy of the room was like, it was hype. Like, we were at a
Mhm.
club, it's bumping, it's
was.
bouncing. And now it's just dead, like graveyard, middle of the night. No vibes at all.
I'll walk over to Mir and place my hand on his other shoulder and give him a little squeeze and say, not everybody's ready for it, I think. I think it was just time for us. Maybe that time will never come for these neighbors of ours, but
Roll
it
me
did.
insight. Everybody. Just
Everybody.
roll an insight check.
Insight.
Oh, God.
Search your feelings.
Time to look at our feelings.
17.
Search your
Good old
feelings.
plus
Know it to
0.
be true.
I know it to be true.
17.
17.
I got an 18. Wow.
Woo.
Holy crap. I was expecting like a 2.
We are
Something
insight.
occurs to you. Each of you individually remembers a different time in your life leading up to this. Hesperia, maybe you were on watch or something like that. Pulse, maybe you were fixing something for a traveler. That sort of thing. Each individual experiences. Before Chips, before you felt that pull and it awakened something in your friends. I hope this doesn't awaken something within me.
I hope it does. Oh!
You remember empathizing with that line of thought where like these wanderers came in, these hunters, and like you know the term for it, but you just don't get it. It's like the people that it's like the idea of somebody getting up and abandoning their spouse and child to go do something else and just leave. Like that seems incomprehensible to me at the core of my being. Like I understand wanderlust. I understand like a feeling of like maybe you're feeling stuck or something like that, but like no, absolutely not. No. And it's like a switch flipping that as soon as Chips was like, hey, I found a thing, I want to go and look, something within you said, absolutely, yes. But before that, it would have been like, that you strange man, Like, do you need a diagnostic?
Probably.
And it's something to wrestle with a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it sits heavy in your chest for a moment. And Celeste just kind of leans on the on that bar and says, like, I hope you guys don't get all like weird and distant and stuff.
No, not
Like
at
all of those other hunters that came through were all moody and like broody and like edgy and started modifying their helmets to cover one eye, and they're like, like I don't need any of that.
Hesperia
It's
looks
hot,
at
but
Mirror.
like, come on.
Yeah, Hesperia looks at Mirror and says, "Don't do that, okay?"
He kind of looks at her helmet as he sees the sparkles, the glitter, the horns, everything. And he kind of just points at it.
I don't think we're in danger of that just yet.
Oh no. If you type run emobot.exe into Twitch chat, it makes a hyperlink.
What?
Oh.
Don't click it, don't do anything. I apologize immensely.
Your
set a trap
moderator, you
for
could
our
just
chat.
delete it.
Yeah.
Oh god, okay.
My brain
Oh.
says click it, but I also know better.
Nope.
Right?
I keep it in my hands, not on my mouse right now.
I am gonna keep my hands far away.
I think again, but like I think as he still points at his Hesperia's helmet, he says, "But they tell stories as well. Like we get hurt, we make modifications. Something happens, we make a modification. Another story to tell. It's not weird. It's living."
Mm.
That's one way to look at it. And she's just nodding and agreeing with you at this point.
well,
It's clear she doesn't truly get it. She doesn't understand. She's just being agreeable and pleasant and like neighborly, right?
Mhm.
It's like having that weird friend that talks about avant-garde art. That's like,
or D&D or some other special
it's
interest.
so deep. Don't you just get the vibe of like White Rabbits from this? It's like, oh yeah, man, absolutely. Like, I
It's just
totally
a
see where
watch.
they're coming from.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I have a question for you. Let's say you're in a park, right? And it's at the edge of the village, right?
Yeah, like
Three-
Village Edge Park over there. Absolutely.
Right, yeah. Okay, right.
Canonically.
Yes, that specific one. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right, it's got the forest right around the borders mostly.
It's the
Mhm.
questionable leaves. Yeah.
Let's
That
say, for example, right, you're playing with a child at the park who you love dearly, playing ball,
Yeah.
and the ball goes into the woods.
Mhm.
And you wander off to fetch the ball. And it was quite far, right? You find the ball. But when you pick the ball up, the ball's rolled on top of something quite interesting that you've never seen before. Right? And you look at it, you don't really understand what it is. But then you see something else that looks quite similar, and you go to pick up that thing. And you're looking at it, and then you find something else. And then you've wandered so far, you turn around, and you realize I've now got an entire puzzle that I've got to take home with me and put back together. Now, what if you take that puzzle
Why
home?
would you take it home?
Because it's different. Is it interesting? Because
but
it
if you-
looks neat.
I mean, like, is it pretty?
To you, it might be, right? It might be pretty.
I guess. Like, I've yet to find a big pretty rock that looks like three other pretty rocks.
I didn't
but-
say it was a rock.
Oh.
I say it's
I
something
don't
you
get
haven't
what you're
seen.
meaning then.
Right. Let's.
Pulse. It's okay.
I just
know-
want to go build things. Never mind.
Uh,
She's just tinkering with something because that's
Not-
her stem.
Not everyone looks at things the way that you do with, the eyes of the inventor.
Everything's a puzzle.
Pulse, this feels similar to other conversations that you've had with Hesperia before.
To be perfectly
But is
honest,
it a pretty rock? No.
Pulse
How
is
about you
even-
just fucking build something that's like, okay, but why?
Pulse is really actually far more frustrated than she's ever been with Hesperia.
Yeah.
Pulse is not trying to show it, but she's actually kind of trying not to get angry right now.
Yeah,
Because
but
Pulse is now in this
there's
space
parallels.
of... Well, Pulse is now in this space of... Is she right? Is it dumb to leave? Do I have reason to leave? Did I go and do a dumb thing? Am I feeling embarrassed? She's pissed.
I think
But you can see none of this on her face.
right, but I think because Hesperia has lived with Pulse long enough, she's learned to tell the difference in Pulse's silences and like what Pulse does when they're irritated. And she can tell that Pulse is not happy.
I feel like
She's very indignant. And like she's like, no, I don't want other people to tell me how I'm supposed to feel about something that I just did with my day. But she's pissed.
I think this is where Mirror pulls up the map again that had all the other points of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And he sends it to the barkeep and he sends it to everyone else. Like, I would say this point is now, let's say it's southwest, like far southwest. And he just simply says, this destination looks interesting. I would like to go to it, before he turns around and just walks out.
Chips
I
is
think-
trying not to smile, but failing hard. And well, I'll go pack.
Are you guys?
I'll help.
I
think-
imagine if you're leaving town, you're going to be gone for a little while.
They still can't have our room. No.
I'll let them know. Just lock it up.
Thanks.
We'll make sure that nobody goes through your things or anything. That would be rude.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we are exploring, and you could call us hunters or whatever, but this place is still our home. And I
course.
feel like we're gonna come back at some point. It might not be, it might be months, but we'll come back.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bricks sets up the array a couple of times a month. So do send a message. Do what you need to do. If you find another settlement, if you die, let us know, and we'll give Pistol your room.
Oh, you'll be the first person I message if I die. Like-
That sounds nice.
I think during
Thank you,
this
Hesperia.
conversation,
This is why we're friends.
I think during this conversation, Pulse has already, as soon as Mirror said, I want to go to this place, and Chip said that he's going to go pack, she grabs all her stuff, she climbs up onto Chip's shoulder, as she's wont to do, and they walk out. And then when they step out, she gets down, and she walks over to the center, I wouldn't say the center of this square,
Yeah.
but like an edge of the square that's against like the town hall, where all of the helmets of loved ones are placed.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And she sees the helmets that they put when they got there of the
Mhm.
hunters. And she just looks at these helmets long and hard. Says nothing. Looks at the map on the spot on the map that Mirror sent. Closes it, turns back around and follows Chips.
Oh.
Pulse. This promenade that you're in has a series of arches and columns. Think not like the Colosseum, but the same sort of vibe. So it's a big arched kind of doorway between pillars, and then there's architecture up and in. It's more rectangular than it is circular, but kind of rounded. And you see, again, this is it's a cultural memorial, more so than a graveyard, right?
Mhm.
So you can see back generations for a few hundred years worth of residents here that just have passed on. And you're looking about and you see inspiration from different helmets that you took for yours. You can see remnants of like, oh, that's probably where Hesperia took that little like circular inspiration piece from in the very front of that little tiara like thing. And you see one that looks vaguely like pistols. And it's just like you can see it. And something again still doesn't sit quite right because it doesn't answer any questions.
I see it and I'm like, I can feel the machine in my bag that looks like that helmet, that looks like Pistol's helmet.
Yeah.
While I think about that.
And it is abundantly clear to you at this point that all of the questions that you have, you will not find answers to here. And this isn't a singular experience. The other three, you all have this same sort of conclusion at some point in your time back home here. Whether it's going through your things, Hesperia, as a part of conversation, go for it.
Oh, no, yes, I did want to have a moment with Pulse here, if that's okay.
Of course, yeah.
Because I do think like while Pulse is staring, Hesperia has exited the tavern bar place thing, and has kind of walked up behind Pulse, and she
this while I'm still looking at the fallen hunters?
And she says, I wasn't trying to say that you were wrong, Pulse. I think that we did what we were supposed to. I don't think that following Chips is a bad idea or anything. It's more that I don't think anyone else is going to get it.
I never thought what you were telling me I was wrong. Ever.
It seemed like you were a little irritated in the bar.
Right, but I wasn't irritated with you. I was irritated with everybody else, and I kick a rock.
And she says, she like folds her hands in front of her and says, sometimes everyone around you isn't going to understand why you make the choices you make. I mean, I'm supposed to be a city guard and I stand out like a sore thumb. I mean, you can see me from space.
And it's terrifying, and I think that's what makes you a good guard after all.
And she smiles, just like, I know. I'm the sparkliest and the last thing you'll ever see. But my point is that sometimes you just have to accept that people aren't going to understand you, and that's okay, as long as you understand you. And she points to her like little chest piece, which has a little stone in it. I guess I would assume, I think we talked about like having some stones embedded in our armor or something that tells us when we're like low HP. So that's what she points to. Hers is pink and heart-shaped. But yeah. And so I don't think that you should take what they say to heart, is all.
I don't.
And we're not going to let them take our rooms, right?
She has not looked at you yet, but she turns her head over her shoulder to look at you and says, not in this lifetime or the next 5.
Good.
It is worth saying culturally that that manners and politeness are kind of what make your settlement go round. Like, they wouldn't dare. There's a certain thing about like, oh, you aren't using this anymore, therefore it should be put to better purpose. But that's like we got an old storeroom over here, we can make space for a new family kind of thing, because it hasn't been used in years. Like, the people of this area would absolutely respect, like, just leave Pulse and Hesperia's place alone. They grew it, they built it, it's theirs. But if you disappear for 20 years, you might come home and find somebody living in your house, right? 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like that's a different story. But you know, it's very small town vibes.
Hesperia,
Yeah.
where's Mirror?
I think Mirror and Chips went to pack. We probably should too.
Yeah, I think my goal is just get a little bit more travel supplies and perhaps anything that we would need for bad weather or emergencies. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. I know that like itching to go, but it's like, okay, we're going further. This is only our second time out. So he's like, I got to be smart about this.
Pack more rope.
Lots more rope and glow sticks. Hey, why not?
And a grappling hook. You've got to remember the grappling hook.
grappling hook.
I
Clutch
feel
grappling
like
hook.
I feel like Mirror knows that Chips is like the more, hey, we need this kind of thing, we need this kind of thing, we need this kind of like physical thing to help us on our adventure. So I think he went off like to his room, and the way his room is set up, it's just like, or really his home. It's like you got data like data windows just open up everywhere. Of various things like of information, like how to make this, how to do that. And he's just starting to close them all down and putting them into his binder. It's kind of like putting a house to sleep at the moment. Just doom, doom, doom.
Preparing to shut your computer down and closing off all the tabs that you're never going to look at again.
It's like, and as he's doing this, the lights are slowly just going out because that's what's lighting the house up.
Yep.
I think as he gets up to his room and he's, doing the final like closing of things. Can we take our helmets off in this realm?
Yep.
I think he takes it off and he's just kind of looking at it. We've mentioned that his is kind of like a blue, like kind of helmet. It's very unassuming though. It's very like standard. It's very basic.
Is it that Mirror didn't see the value in putting too much effort into it at the time? Okay.
And I think at this moment, he pulls out like, dude, they don't have phones, but what he can do, how far is Hesperia at this moment of time? Is it more than
we'll say within range. Yeah.
120 feet, like within 120 feet, sends a message. Pop-up window comes up. Would you like to design a helmet for me?
Hesperia is in the middle. Like I fully imagine that like Pulse and Hesperia are like in the middle of packing themselves, and Hesperia has gone full totally blonde. So there's a pile of shit in the living room when she gets this message, and she's constantly been like, Pulse, do we need, and just drops it in the living room. And then she goes, then you hear a shriek.
Fell on me.
Heat up my glue gun.
And then you hear a shriek of, oh my gosh,
What? Are you alive? What happened?
yes, no, I'm fine.
Sends another
Mirror.
message with the star mark saying, would you like to help me design a message like a helmet? Because he realized the words that he used and he's like, I probably would give her too much control.
Too much power.
I have made a
fix this.
terrible mistake.
Because he heard that screech and he was just like,
helmet.
I imagine.
Do you want to kill a maverick?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God. He heard that screech and he was just like,
Oh no.
let me fix this real quick. Send.
It's less audible screech and more like the window in front of you just like vibrated violently for a second.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. Oh,
It just says Hesperia is typing and hasn't stopped.
just the ellipses, like she's trying to like
See the
type, delete,
like
type, delete, type, delete.
rapid, faster
Yes.
and faster. Whoa.
It's like but and I think she says to Pulse, Mirror is finally going to change that helmet. Oh my god, it's from God knows when. The year of the pair. Who knows?
It's like the guy that stopped wearing the same jeans and white t-shirt for their entire life asking you, can I have a makeover, please?
Finally, and like all of a sudden, like just like Mirror has had all these like, these little pop-up windows of information. Suddenly, and it's like in the thick of this stuff, like Pulse is buried somewhere in the middle of this stuff. All of these windows pop up with thousands of like helmet designs that she has saved, and she's like, not this one, to pink, to purple, to
Watches.
yes, like on Sintrist, it's all Sintrist. And suddenly, like the ellipses change, and all it says is, "I got you." And then, like, every file goes to black to Mirror. Yeah, like literally, it's just like onslaught. Like you're getting helmet spam now.
He
Are
sees
you
all
sure
this
you
information coming. He sees all this information coming, and he's just like, okay. He then sends a response immediately, like something around this, and he sends a crystal, like some form of gem, something round, and
Nice.
I want to say this one looks like, my brain says infinity symbol.
Ooh, okay. It's like the
Like,
infinity symbol.
I think it's going like into that direction. He's like, I have ideas of this, or there's a moment between the messages, or this, and it's like a compass now, like, but just the 4 directions of it, like north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
He's like something around like this, maybe.
Cardinal.
Hesperia frowns at this and says, "Pulse, what am I gonna do with Mirror? Look at this. Look at what he sent me."
She peeks her head out from behind one of the beams that like separate the like workshop from the staircase that goes up to like the actual bedrooms.
Right.
And she looks up at you on the balcony. And like, are you like swiping it to me?
No, yeah, she'll swipe it to you. She'll send you these images. It's like,
Right. Well, that's new.
I'm gonna turn this Sausier into Silk Purse if it kills me.
I like it. It's very him.
Of course you would. This is your vibe. You're very industrial.
Says the person with like fake leather on their helmet. No.
I think in the middle of this conversation, he sends another message. If you can figure something out with these two, or something that is more befitting, I appreciate that.
This sounds like every conversation I've ever had with a commission artist before.
Oh my god.
Like something in the
I'm
vibe
getting
of
that
these couple
vibe
of
too.
images, and just like,
I literally just finished a logo commission for someone today and had this exact conversation. Oh my god.
Right?
I think with that in mind now, the last message she's going to send is, I put my looks in your hands. I know you will do great. Go wild, but not too wild.
And I think
amazing.
I think that is actually what gets Hesperia to like kind of blush a little bit, the way that I guess Reploids can.
yeah, like you have faces. You have
like a little,
skin,
like a little blush, and says, okay, this has got to be good. Can we make it blow up though, Pulse? Like a yo-yo, like maybe it can fire laser beams or something.
Yo-yo.
Maybe
Like a
your
light
face can
show.
explode.
I have to finish
No,
that
not the face.
stupid yo-yo before I leave. you have noticed that aside, because now she's frustrated because you've noticed that aside from the pile of shit that you have just hawked over the balcony to the
Yes.
floor, you have never seen the workshop look more organized and clean than it does right now. Everything's closed away. All of her tools are neatly hung up except for what she wants to take with her. And she's actually working on the yo-yos and the other couple of things for Pistol that she has left to bring over before she leaves, because she doesn't intend to come back ever at this point. But she's being dramatic. But now you say, can we make it blow up? She looks at her clean workshop and it's like, do I have to pull this all apart again?
And you can tell this is her spitballing ideas. She doesn't actually like intend to make anything blow up. I think she very much like has in mind, like, what if we made it a laser helmet? What if it fired lasers? What if it had defensive purposes?
Just put a Dalek
Yes, like
on
a
it.
Dalek thing on it. The little Stupid.
I feel like while this is going on, Mira's also texting, like sending messages to Chips, like, "Hey, by the way, this thing. Hey, by the way, this thing. Like, do we need this? Do we need that?" He's like, again, he's the packing man. He's kind of the one that's there, like, okay, I guess we got everything. But now he's just like, I should kind of check. Do we need this? Do we need that? Is this survivable?
So good.
Yes.
Yeah, I've ran out to the general store and obtained an extra frame backpack kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna need more.
That was actually something, Maz, I was going to talk to you about. Is your infusions? You have the ability to trade some of them around at any point. If you want a dimensional bag of holding, where you're like, we store things away, we can do that. Feel free. I'm not going to hinder you guys.
Shit in our living room.
Yeah, I'm not going to hinder you guys with carrying capacity on stuff when you have actual options presented before you. Like, it's very artificer of you to be like, and we're taking the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Well, except it's Suspiria doing that right now.
Yeah.
I definitely think that she wasn't anticipating needing something like that before yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that's something that she is like, do I have one of those from 3 years ago as an experiment? I feel like yes, somewhere.
It's the kind of thing that those replicating machines that were pumping out like wave after wave after wave of these little robots were pulling from somewhere. And you're like, what if you just what if you reversed the polarity of the replicating thing? So you could put anything in there. How is it programmed to only spit out little meats and little like bat balls? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. The yellow helmet dudes with the eyes and the feet. But yeah, that's essentially how artificer tech works. Is like, that's the cool story, bro, but have you tried turning it inside out and then turning it on and seeing what happens?
100%.
From a not so safe distance.
100%.
Yeah.
As you... Right, are you ready to go?
What?
Are you ready to go? Because I want to go get the boys and leave soon, like now.
Right.
Please.
Are we going to be able to bring all of this, though? Because I feel like we're going to need snacks. I feel like we're going to, like, not like snacks like we're going to eat all the time, but like snacks in case we forget we get hungry and then we forgot that we didn't. It's a whole thing. Just extra snacks.
You
like
see
extra
her
blankets,
just throwing things
ropes,
in this tiny bag that she's going to end up just putting on her.
Like a coat.
Just watch it disappear into
and
this
then my glue gun. We need my glue gun and my bedazzling kit because of Mira's helmet. Oh, all right. Right, I'm good to go.
Yeah, you good? And she
yeah, I'm fine.
Like a drawstring.
Thanks, Pulse.
Just opens the compartment on like a square panel on her back just opens like out slightly, and you can just drop things in to like this angled garbage chute. Essentially, it's like a mailbox, except instead of it being a rolly thing, it just opens. Just drop it in there, closes it, and now she's walking around.
And she just, I think, at that, like, Hesperia takes one last look around this space that they've created together, one half of which is all industrial, experimental, and like full of it very much has an inventor vibe, and the other half which is just bright and glittery and shiny and just very loud and proud about it.
Barbie's dream house.
Yes, Barbie's dream house vibes. And she just takes a deep breath and says, all right, I guess we're ready to go. I'm gonna miss this place while we're gone.
I have a box of stuff for Pistol that I would like to say before we leave, just to drop that off.
Mm-hmm.
Hesperia is also going to padlock the fuck out of this house.
Please?
Yes.
Like I'm talking 3 different pin codes.
Laser tripwire.
Just like number pin codes, like just full on just algorithmic
Pulse,
me.
you see Hesperia do something you've never seen her do before.
Oh, snap.
As you step outside. And in front of you, with a swirl of the shiniest, most glittery, bedazzling fucking cogs, visibly, like, think Doctor Strange spinning open a portal with a sling ring. All of these glittery cogs and symbols and ruins appear in front of Hesperia and layer upon layer on your house. And it doesn't seem like it's even really a conscious effort. It seems like something awakens in her. I hope this doesn't awaken something in me. And you see the chassis kind of glow with this strange presence. And she kind of rises up onto the toes of her boots a little bit as it happens and settles down. And Hesperia, you feel fucking fire right now. This is amazing. You're like, what the hell?
Hesperia like flips her hair and she's like, that felt really exhilarating for some reason.
Guess what? That's the alarm spell.
Oh,
It's a ritual.
Nice.
It will I'll do all of the dingings, all of them.
I was about to say if I did have alarm,
Yes.
I would cast alarm, and now I do.
And now you do.
Yay.
There's you see this and it's like Hesperia's never exhibited something of that magnitude before. It's kind of strange. Maybe something to talk about at some point. But as you lock your
definitely
premise,
makes note of that.
as you lock your premise and you look down the road and you see the boys coming out of their dwellings, heading over in the direction of Brick and Phantom's places where you dropped everything off, where your next clue is. We're going to take a little break and let everybody have a drink and then move on. So,
with our lives.
Yes. And we'll, let's give it 10 minutes. We can come back we'll call it 9 minutes. We'll come back at 8:15. And
Sounds good.
we'll see you guys in just a few.
Thank you, Nine.
Bye.
Back soon. Bye. And we're back. Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Jazz hands.
Everybody, almost everybody was back.
Almost.
Pulse.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm muted.
There we go.
This is fine. We're fine. It's late at night for me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. You all find yourselves walking down the road of the village of Saul. And the sun is high, you know, tweets are chirping in the trees. And they're just like really fat birds. Like if you've ever played Angry
Trees are
Birds,
bending
they're
down.
all
Oh, no.
shaped like the red one. They're just like
No.
They're oh god.
they look like they
Oh.
shouldn't be able to fly, but they can because they got little rocket packs in their butts. And you head on your way over to it's a little more industrious portion of town. There's a long polished coral looking table out front of a wide house that belongs to Bricks, one of the leaders of Saul, one of the older Reploids that's here. Bricks, Pulse, you have a commonality with Bricks. He's been naturally curious about certain things. You feel like that conversation that you had earlier today might have gone differently in private with Bricks, but Bricks focuses really on the good of the town and the good of the community and keeping everybody just like, you know, sustained. Right? Everything is sufficient, everything's good. Like if there's a problem, you'll all solve it, but it's to get everybody back to operational status quo. Like let's go. He's really good at fixing things and putting them back the way they were. Your penchants for let's make new, let's make exciting is something where he's like, okay, but no, you broke it. It's supposed to look like this. Like the Lego pieces are meant to be built this way. Follow the instructions. And you're like, how about we build a helicopter out of this Malibu dream house? And he's like, that's not what the instructions say. And it's, you know, that's the best way I can describe this relationship is it's like me with my
100%.
child. That's how it works.
Hilarious.
You spill juice on the instructions. I can never build the Elsa magical forest again. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I
It's
built
done.
I learned most of my fundamentals of like building and invent and like things from Bricks for sure, like since I was a child.
Yeah. It
Watch
was
him fix all
very
things.
much. Yeah.
Mom hates him. No.
The explosions, the sheer number of explosions.
I singed his beard a couple of times. Beard.
I'm down for that.
Beard in quotes.
He's got a beard made of like tiny little wires.
I like it. It's just like cotton fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Insulation. It's
Yeah.
all insulation.
Like his like the panel that would normally be your jaw, he doesn't have one. It's just the in between insulation between the metal plate and then the internals.
I love it. And as you come by, you see there's a number of things off of that sled that you had pulled back that he's just like laid out across the table, and some things have been pulled apart. And like there's a bunch of different spanners around that are like he's been using to tinker with stuff and pull things apart for their viable goods, seeing what can be salvaged, seeing what can be scrapped, seeing what he's like, I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to touch it because I don't know what it is.
You see Pulse hop up onto the like a round stool by the counter as like it's like her spot.
Did we establish, is Pulse a small-sized tabaxi chassis or a medium-sized tabaxi chassis?
I think she's small size.
Okay.
She's like a Mancoon.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
real life Mancoon, but
Yeah.
like
Right.
a big. So that's probably
Big for a cat, not necessarily big for a person.
Yeah.
right.
And we've canonically said that you ride around on top of chips a lot.
Yeah. Like I just shoulder perch, shoulder cat. That's our whole friendship. It's like,
I like it.
he's used to hearing like gears in his ears because I'm just tinkering with things. So she hops up onto the stool and sits cross-legged and has a screwdriver with some cogs in her hands because that's her favorite fidget, and it's just like big, big pupils, big cat, curious, tell me what's gonna happen next, dad face. Yep.
Tail going in the background.
Yep.
And Brick says, well, I haven't been able to ascertain what a couple of these things are. And he like kicks over one of the replicating boxes towards you, and he's like, I don't know how that's doing what it's doing. I fed it some energy and it spit some bats at me. And you see over in one side, there's a wrench that's as tall as he is, and it's just buried inside a bat in the face. And he's like, it kept trying to bite me.
Yeah, they do that. Right.
And it moves a little bit, and he goes and puts another wrench into it, like hard.
God.
And it stops, and he's like, yeah. Now.
Have you tried one of the ones that looked like my nephew?
Like hitting them with a child?
No, no.
Well, I'm much better with a wrench than I am swinging a child.
No,
Fellas. You know that.
No.
The machine that looks like, yeah, I do. We don't need to talk about that day anymore. The machine that looks like Pistol's helmet.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
Have you turned one of those on yet? Because those, I hate
You said
those.
it tried to headbutt you. I didn't want to take the risk. It's wearing a helmet. It'd be a whole lot harder to put a wrench through it.
Yes, it's not. No, I don't. Right, I don't recommend it. Don't turn that one. Go.
Yeah.
Don't activate
And
that
he's
one.
like
It's not a
walking
good
along
idea.
the table with you. The legs are down on the ground. He hopped up to like keep height. So he's,
My tail is wrapped around my side and just going.
this stuff I'm not entirely sure what it's for. So I can't. I made a requisition list here. I can pull. He's got about half of the crap that you shoved into a sack off to the side. He's like, these have good power dampeners in them, and these have a bunch of different components that are very useful for converting power over. And these have servos in them that are really good, and they'll be good up there with the towers. And basically, like bare bones engineering. He's stripping things for parts. The more esoteric stuff that he's like, take it, make something, do your like off the book thing.
That's what we call it. It's
You're
OTB.
going off book.
Yeah. That's as soon as he says those magic words that I always wait to hear after he gives me something new. You see the static go through her whiskers, and she's very excited.
You had a conversation with him at one point about like a blaster that just keeps blasting. That repeating weapon that you have, where it just keeps going and going and going.
Until
and it's like, as long as the energy level that it requires is equal to or less than what you're pulling in on a regular basis, it can just keep firing forever. And he's like, that's not how guns work. Like, why would you ever do that? It's like, because you can. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. You don't understand that you're speaking madness right now. You are shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Oh no.
And he says, as for hey, dark and moody, get over here. And you see this like tall, kind of like half misshapen General Grievous looking motherfucker.
Hello there.
All right. Okay.
Step out, and Phantom has like a long series of robes and belts and like a variety of tools hanging across them.
This is why him and Nira are friends.
Yeah, before Phantom even comes out, as soon as we heard she heard that, and then Phantom comes out, Fair Spirit leans over to Mira and said, "I thought he was talking to you."
Me too.
He just shakes his head. you see him smile a little bit, just like.
And you
No.
see Mirror for the first time. You see Phantom's hand comes out, and it's not a regular like Buster arm anymore. It's significantly longer. It's probably the length of the whole body. Think like an orangutan arm, but it's got 2 elbows to it, and one bends this way, and the other one bends the normal way. And on the end of it, instead of 5 fingers, it's just got a single like grasping hook or grasping claw. He's like, very good for getting things off the top shelf. I found it. I like it.
It's a good
mine.
modification.
I don't think it'll fit on the children.
No, but I like it. Won't fit
like
on me either.
I like
Do I need
it.
a new chassis? See, now I want to build a new chassis just so I can have one. No, Pulse. You don't need to build another new chassis. You just got this one.
The
I can
downside of
bedazzle it.
homebrewing is you don't have the stability that goes into all of the work that goes into standardization, but you get so many more possibilities. And he's doing this, but one arm is really long, so he's kind of doing. And he's like, I had a look at the hunters that you brought in. A little problematic on the orc chassis person. I can't salvage their parts.
Oh dear.
Wait,
What
right.
happened?
Sorry. Right. What?
With the all of the carbon scoring, and he's referring specifically to the spark mandrill one that attacked you.
Mhm.
Their chassis and frame are both incredibly compromised and damaged.
Oh dear.
Right.
It looks like stress fractures, as though everything was expanded rapidly and then was rapidly cooled. Like, you know when you freeze something and then rapidly heat it up and it breaks apart and turns into, crap.
I look at the group. Should I tell him? Should I just tell him? I'm gonna tell him.
May as
Right.
well.
Tell me what.
Phantom. Right, that may or may not know it's entirely our fault that he looks like that. He.
Okay, but to be fair, it was self-defense. He attacked us first. We defended ourselves, and that was probably why the chassis. ended
That's
up
the
that
more.
way.
Right, yeah, that's the stranger part of it. Is it really? We had no choice.
You, Maz wasn't here for this.
I wasn't.
This orc chassis person had grown to the size of a large creature when it was attacking you.
Oh, so this is
And-
nothing to do with the damage we
I
inflicted.
mean, you guys kicked the living shit out of it,
Okay, all right.
including like this thing had a vulnerability to ice, and when you figured that part out, did that a lot.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it looks like it was forced to expand and just like it was damaged at some point either in that process, but you're confident it wasn't just you.
Okay.
Like Chips ran medicine on this thing and was like, this guy's fucked. Like there is
Okay.
damage here. Something happened to them.
Well then, fuck everything I just said.
To the same point though, like Phantom said, I can see where this is your handiwork.
You know me too well.
There's a giant dent in like the chest where you threw a boulder through it, and it's like I can't in good conscience put this on a child because it would probably fall apart. It lacks the structural integrity to be sensible. I don't know the mark, but he pulls off a little panel and tosses you guys a it looks like plasteel. So it looks like resin or like plastic, but it's tings like metal. And it's just the outline of the shoulder tattoo that it had.
I pass it to Mirror.
He'll take it.
I'm assuming it's a hunter's mark that the rest of them shared. They seemed to have been in a group. This damaged one, despite their flaws, had significantly more intricate programming than the others, to the point of concern. Like, I can't just download your thoughts and your being, so to speak. Like, we store things from memory and that sort of thing. The amount of data corruption that's in this, I'm surprised that they were a functioning person. Like, I couldn't make heads or tails of most of what I was seeing.
Really?
But it looks like, Pulse, you remember the conversation we had about overclocking?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That things are meant to function within the parameters of which they're designed, and that sometimes you can push those limits as long as proper safety protocols are in place. It might run a little hotter, but if you have a means of cooling, then it's fine. That sort of thing.
Oh, right, yes, that.
This motherfucker right here was overclocked without any safety parameters and is like viscerally damaged by it.
Oh dear.
It does not look like...
I don't like that.
It does not look like his friends were experiencing that same degree. All of them are... One of them looks like it was torn apart by this one, in my humble medical opinion. And the others look like they were taken down by a mega buster.
A mega buster.
Like the pew-pews on our arms.
Yeah.
Solar shots. But I've never seen one that everything was pinpoint accuracy. Come, and he leads you inside, and there's essentially like gurneys, just kind of laid apart in a big semicircle in this spherical dome hut. And in the middle is that the damaged spark mandrill fellow, and Marina's body is there as well. And again, looks kind of ripped apart, like torn asunder. Most of them I can find good uses for. And I've managed to salvage what I can. There's not a lot of good data, but I compiled all of them again and again to see if we can't find out what happened. And this is the best I've got. And he hands over, like, they look like sticks of RAM, essentially. One from each of them. So, computer chip about yay long kind of deal for the non-technically inclined in the audience. Their memory. And you guys use these as well. You've seen this before, where Mirror keeps a handful of them kicking around either on person or in a bag, and just like...
Yeah, at one point I gave Mirror one of mine because it took less time than to have a conversation with him.
Think thumb drives. These have the last... I can't pull a personality into a drive. Not that we haven't tried, but this is the best I could come up with their last moments, and there's some fragments of memories and things like that. I wouldn't recommend interfacing with them directly. It can be quite jarring, and he has a twitch for a second, then the head goes sideways, and he looks off into the distance for a moment, just like 1,000-yard stare, and it's like one of the eyes goes off and it comes back, and it's like, sorry. Don't interface with them directly. Put some kind of a buffer in place before you do that.
You're right there, Phantom.
Can we perception roll that? Like what?
Insight
what?
check immediately.
Like insight?
You can choose to roll if you like. He is giving you a warning not to just plug them directly into your brain, and then shows
No, because I think he's clearly done that. And
That's
now
what I
he's
think
clearly
too.
done that.
I think that he's clearly done that. Like Hesperia is like, is that something
Why
that
is he
you?
there?
Okay, did you try that? Is that something that you did?
Right, we probably
I
should.
needed to make sure that it was okay,
We
but
probably
you should
should've
build
warned
something
you.
to display it otherwise.
So right, I don't know how else I can describe this particular chassis behavior and gestures to the orc. But he went rabid, essentially. When you say you don't know how it was a person and it was very corrupt, that doesn't surprise me, nor I think the rest of us.
Not really. No.
They had an animalistic behavior to them.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like they were much larger than they actually were, or at least in the size of this would have led you to believe at the time that we were being attacked. That is.
They also seem to be able to control the environment around them. And I think Mayor would mention like the lightning bolt that he got hit with.
Like, it's weird for me to see anyone that's bigger than Chips, to be honest.
This person's not bigger than Chips. Like, do you need a diagnostic pulse?
No, they
because
aren't
you can
now.
see that this one is so many meters long.
They aren't now, but they were. You said it yourself that the armor looks like it's been through some kind of rapid expansion.
High key above table, is that real? Were they bigger than Chips?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Yeah, they were a large size.
They were a large size creature, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
As though expanded out against their will, and they looked pained by it. Almost the entire time. And he says, well, that makes sense then.
Well, it now you know why it looks like that, but we don't understand why it became like that.
I mean, they're gone now.
But doesn't it bother you that we don't know why he went nuts?
Oh no.
Well, could it happen to us?
Out of curiosity, can I use detect thoughts to get inside the RAM?
That is a excellent use of that spell.
Because I'm looking at it and it's
machine.
Like you can sense thoughts like around like 30 feet of yourself that belong to creatures that know language or telepathic. But there's also reading thoughts. You target one creature you can see within 30 feet of you. I'm thinking more like sensing thoughts.
So I would I'll two options here. That seems like a really good buffer for if you guys were able to combine those chips together, no pun intended, chips, into some kind of like there'd be some tech rolls involved to get something cohesive to interface with. If you just wanted to cast the spell now, Phantom is right there and has already unsafely done so. And you could absolutely go for a deep dive into Phantom. Consensually.
Consensually.
I'm trying to think
Oh.
would be a better option.
Like, there's certainly a safer option. The safer option is to, like, compile that data with Pulse and then have something to force your spell into. The walking haphazard person that just plugged it into their brain, they pulled a neon and said, I'm just going to jab this big needle into my brain because something cool will happen. And went, ah!
Oh, God.
Download complete.
Neon.
She did that in our Castlevania game.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
My brain is Oh, you first.
Oh, so I just had a really quick question, and maybe we answered this last session. Did what happened to? Because again, I wasn't here. Did what happened to the, I guess the boss fight? Does that look similar to what happened to Chips and I?
No.
It's
Mm-mm.
different. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
The established canon that we've talked about is that that boss fight, they had a little spark inside that you all seem to share. And we've established that there is some kind of latent programming within hunters that has awakened. And you can detect that within a person using detect magic or other like reasonable deduction. That was the thread that you put together. At first it seemed like it's like, oh god, they've got what we've got, like this is a problem. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think maybe compile them all up and using the spell as a buffer. But there's also a part of me that wants to, because there's some on detect thoughts, I can use a magic action to go deeper.
Yes.
I want to see if I can unscramble it.
Okay. I would say that surface thoughts would be fine from getting everything compiled. If you want to like deep dive and just like use rolls to roll about it and make sense of what you're seeing, that's going to be targeting Phantom, because they are a creature still. Otherwise, it's like divining from an object or augury. That's sort of level of understanding and deciphering is what you're looking at. So
Right.
So, Phantom says, "This is what I could salvage out of these poor Reploids. Their helmets will be added to us, panorama, pantheon. We could even call it. They'll be
To your
remembered.
collection.
Well, I mean,
Your collection.
I've already put
someone
them
might
there.
come to town and recognize them and ask questions.
That too. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Did you just say, well, can it happen to us? What's happened to this poor fellow here? Was that
Well,
your
you
question?
seemed like to express concern about it, and if it could happen to us, maybe I'd like worry about it. But like that doesn't happen to normal Reploids. That's probably just weird hunter shit.
Weird hunter shit.
We're now weird hunter shit. That's my all right. Huh.
It's funny that the one who's saying it's weird is also the one that interfaced with it without a buffer.
I needed to
Right.
like make sure that it was okay. I wasn't going to plug it into a child first. I was going to plug it into myself first.
Honestly,
Couldn't
I
have plugged
like
it in
the
somewhere
phrase
else.
Chips.
weird hunter shit.
Weird hunter shit.
I thought you were referring to I wasn't going to plug it into a child first
Yeah.
comment.
Well, yeah.
That's what I thought you were responding to.
God. Ugh.
Yeah. And he just kind of like he ticks a little bit. He probably did this like 20 minutes before coming outside.
It's like licking a battery. I
Yeah.
swear to God.
And he says, they had some things. You're welcome. I can't see any good use for it. I can't make heads or tails of it, but and he kicks over like a metal box, like a blue cylinder, and it's as you shake it, it rattles around. There's some like magic level or magic item equivalent hunter grade tech in there. It's a la kind of what Chips is wearing on his waist right now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like rewards for completing an adventure and doing stuff.
Ooh.
Opens.
This is a secret tool.
It'll help us later.
That'll help us later.
Pulse puts that away to look at with the party later.
They
Just very
probably
excited.
don't have any need for them, and I wasn't going to let Bricks try and tear them apart because it looks kind of cool.
Thank you.
Sure it does.
See, this is why I don't know why he doesn't understand things like that. This is why we come to you.
It's true.
You like
Like-
the weird things.
Like
It's true. We come to you.
the laser rifle is fine being a laser rifle. Like it's okay. It doesn't need to be stripped for parts. It can be a laser rifle. You might need a laser rifle someday.
Right. Or, but
There's
also,
a laser rifle in there.
I get that. Wait, what? Sorry, wait, right, what?
Oh yes, I shot it into the sky earlier.
To say
I really like you.
the
Have I
laser
told you
rifle?
today how
Okay.
much I like
I
you?
wasn't gonna point it at a child unless I knew what it was gonna do.
Change the box immediately back out. But there's a laser rifle in here.
Yeah.
I sense that he has like a lot of intrusive thoughts. Whenever the loud, annoying kids like
Run
by, he's like, no.
Is this like a
No.
lockbox? Like is it like latches on it?
No, it's just like a crate.
I think as Post like pulls the box out, Mir's just gonna come up and just like open it up. Like, all right, let's just ring.
Let's look inside. Let's see what's in
Put
this
it on the
baby.
table.
Mhm.
The thing that strikes you first and foremost is this long cylinder with a yellow tube around it that I've
Oh,
thrown into
geez.
the chat. It looks shoulder mounted, and it is 100% a wand of lightning bolt.
Yeah.
It's got a
I love
couple
it
of
so
shots a
much.
day, but it just
So
goes
pretty.
fucking
Fantastic.
pew pew. And yeah, so that's
so pretty.
that's a thing. There is a physical data pad in there.
Ooh.
It's not screens. It's a physical touch book, similar
What?
to Mirror's binder.
Ah.
And it is under your guise, and for ease, this is an arcane grimoire +1.
Ooh, very fancy.
This is a wizard only thing. Beyond that, there is a where are we here? I just gotta grab the proper name for it.
Proper names.
Do. It is called a blood. Is it a blood ampule? I just got
No, because usually those have red in them, right?
yeah. Come on.
I believe in you.
It's a vial of something. Bloodwell vial, it's called.
Ooh, fancy.
And essentially it's this heart-shaped gemstone that looks like, again, that plasteel that you dealt with before, and it's sorcerer based only. Essentially it gives you a +1 bonus to your spell rolls and saving throws of sorcerer spells, and anytime you roll a hit die to recover hit points, you can just regain 5 sorcery points.
Ooh.
It is sorcerer intended. Bloodwell vial +1.
Sorcerer intended, eh?
Indeed. You get something for each
Funny
of you.
that. Watch how we all take each other's shit. No
Yeah.
bit.
Chip's already got a big strong rare magic item. These are uncommon. So
The belt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
belt.
So the wand can be used by anyone, or is that a
the wand can be used by any spellcaster. Above board, I intended it as Pulse's reward because you get a wizard book that makes you better at wizarding forever.
Yes.
Oh no, I was gonna put it on Chips and be like, mount this boy up, Jaeger him,
Yes.
Jaeger Chips.
Just keep
Technically,
buffing
any of you
Chips.
can use a wand of
We
lightning
just
bolt.
buffed the hell out of Chips.
Yeah.
Buff Chips.
Like now, Chips.
But it's-
just remember, you have to go first, though.
Yes.
But it's also funny if you put it on Post because now we got a Mancoon cat with a Gatling gun on their back.
Hell yeah.
Very excited.
Or you put it on
Say
Mirror,
hello
who can
to
fly,
your little friend.
and you just like start laying down suppressing fire.
Amazing.
He's like, I have no need for these things. Like these are very much in the vein of a hunter shit. And Mirror and Pulse, you specifically look at these things and you're like, these are things that like no normal person would look at and be like, I need to be better at doing the weird thing that nobody is better at, or like is good at, period.
I have a question. When I look at that heart-shaped thing, does anything on it resemble any of the weird hunter shit that Hesperia was doing to the door?
Not to be determined.
Okay, because I was
You're looking at it,
Yay,
and
oh
the most you
no.
get is this is kind of pink and heart-shaped.
yeah. I mean, I
Right?
was gonna give it to her anyway, but I thought if there was even more
Yeah.
precedence for Pulse to think, oh, this is for you.
Yeah. To be determined.
Got it.
But he says, I hope you put it to good use and don't like it. It seems appropriate. Like you're the only hunters that I know, so you should take it.
Apparently, that seems to be the running theme.
Well, we had one that had passed and was found on the road and brought in, and we just put the stuff aside. And the next time that hunters came through town, we just said, "Here, like, here's some weird shit that we can't make heads or tails of because I don't know how it works and I don't really understand." And they were like, "Oh, this is really useful. Okay, thanks, bye." So like, if we find any more and you come back to town, I'll put it in a box for you.
Oh, thank you.
Make
We'd
sure
love
Bricks
that.
doesn't rip it apart to turn into a vacuum cleaner.
No, that's what you
I
have
will
the
kill
dust
him.
devil spell for.
I don't know that anybody can do that.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I spoogled it, and I thought everyone could do it.
spookle.
I can't with this.
Where are you going next? What are you doing? And then like Bricks comes over as well and it's like hops up on a chair. It's like, we'll make sure that nobody goes through your shit.
I don't think there's much chance of that anyway, because somebody did weird hunter shit to our door.
Oh,
What?
cool. I like it.
Oh,
Somebody will like my home. They can have it.
Yeah, you feel
Pulse, could you
a clap on the
very
shoulder and it's like,
thoughtful, like,
are you not planning on coming back, my boy?
No.
And you get
see
a long
Pulse
look
just kind of
and he leans in and whispers like, dumping Khan wasn't a good idea, it seems. No, that's entirely above table.
that's
He's
funny.
like, no, he actually leans in and says, you always have a place here. This is your home. Even if you need to go for a bit of a walkabout, it's fine. Let me know. We'll see. We'll see. I bet you'll come back, and we won't regret it in any way, shape, or form.
to visit at least. Right, Mirror?
If you all would like to visit, but you can give my home to someone else.
I mean, I would.
Excellent. People have babies every day. It's a real problem. I appreciate it.
400 babies.
400
Pulse
baby.
kind of like just to
Power
herself,
legs.
just smiling slightly approvingly at Mira's decision.
Yeah. And Brick says, so where to next? What are you gonna do?
Mirror, you something caught your eye on the map, didn't it?
Yes.
Weird hunter shit, apparently.
Weird hunter
think-
shit.
I think as they keep saying that, he takes out his calligraphy tools because, you know, he has them. And while also taking the data pad that he's just kind of like, okay. He
It
puts like,
feels it's got a texture to it that is strange. Everything in this world is rounded and flush, or like it might be a little rough, but it's smooth. And this is decidedly like bumpy, like veins coming out of something, or like tree
Ooh.
roots protruding out of a piece of metal. Like you could trace lines along it. And it's got hard, square, pointed edges, like old school technology that you could touch the wrong way and like actually break skin on. Like if you needed to bludgeon somebody to death with this thing, you probably could. I mean, Mirror can't, because you'd get
Strength
winded.
is my dump.
But it's a thing.
That's what happens when you have low strength. No.
But yeah, it feels very foreign compared to everything else that you've ever had in your hands. It is decidedly looks like ancient tech.
And I think
It's a Kindle.
You're gonna make
It's a
Blackwell
BlackBerry
choke.
playbook.
This is gonna be hilarious. I love this so much.
Oh, God.
you know what?
Uses
Now I
e-ink.
got to take it as a Kindle. Like it's a Kindle,
It's a Kindle. Oh my god.
and he's taking essentially that cord that comes out either of his ear, or in this case now it's coming from his spinal cord, like where
Mhm.
the top of his spine would be, because fastest way to get information. Connects it to it and starts feeding the information of what he knows into it, like straight up, like what is it called? God, not landline cable.
Cat 5.
Fiber
Fiber
cable?
optic.
Fiber optic.
Coax.
When video games used to be where you had to connect the cables to each other to play multiplayer.
Oh, like an AV cable.
Data
Right?
link.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, data link.
Yeah, you've got like
Data
a data link
link.
cable for a Game Boy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Ethernet. There we go. Ethernet.
Ethernet.
Cat
I like
5.
the internet cable. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Kind of like an
Cat
Ethernet cable,
6.
just
Yeah.
full on, just chink, like direct download.
Patched in.
All right. Mirror, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Why
Con?
is Con your dump stat?
I'm going to use one of those rows that I had earlier. I'm going to use which one we want to use. We're going to use the 17 in this case because I don't trust myself.
Portent?
Yep.
Let's go.
Amazing.
I love it.
With your 17, what's it that bring your total Constitution saving throw to?
It's just 17 straight.
Do you not have a negative in your con?
My con is the plus 10.
Oh, it's a 10 flat. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
flat 10.
All right.
My dump stats are strength and dex. My
Yeah.
con is just it's here. It's
Okay.
doing the thing.
It exists.
Yeah. A couple of things hit you all at once. And also in the Discord,
What's in the
There's-
Discord?
there's links to all of your
Oh,
like
okay.
explanations for the items. We'll drag them onto your
Thank
sheets later and
you.
stuff, but
Okay.
to be able to have some context.
Thank you.
As you plug in, you pass your con check. You're not taking any immediate damage from doing so.
Right.
There are lingering effects to doing the thing that you're doing. You're plugging into this grimoire, right? This grimoire that belonged to one of these people that suffered a horrific end recently. Wizards are cerebral and have a tendency to interface with their tech directly, just like you do. And for all intents and purposes, you're kind of plugging into the last will and testament of whatever this wizard had experienced.
Ghost in the machine.
Yeah. And everybody sees all of the like crystalline and like glowy bits of mirror light up for a second, but they're not the same color as mirror's normal like individual magical effect like that. It's not in his color palette.
It's not
It
the usual
looks like
golden
it's his
hue.
color palette, and then it's pushed to the side with a different color palette, and then it comes back to his.
Interesting.
And Mirror, you see all of the people that are laying on gurneys around you standing in front of that large computer interface. that you were at with the giant buttons. And you
the Commodore
turn your
64. I'm sorry.
The Commodore 60. Oh my god, I'm dying.
you turn your head to look, and you see all of your friends, the people that are laying on the gurneys. And you look down and you see like a blue structure with kind of a pointed frame, and it matches one of the people on the gurneys. And you're very much like, it's almost like lucid dreaming. Like it's like you're looking around, but this is something that happened. And you go to say something, but nothing comes out. Like you're experiencing this for yourself. And beside you is that spark mandrill, like orc chassis person. And they look like they're like kind of nervous, and they don't really know what's going on. And everybody's been looking at the computer. Nobody's dead.
Still alive.
Everybody's having a good time.
Enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, they're curious. And you hear a kind of sound. And from the darkness, as you turn, you hear a tap, 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 tap. Sounds like a cane. And as you turn, in front of you, you see kind of a hunched figure with a rounded head, half of a helmet, white hair spilling out of the back. Round, very similar to yours. A long white coat dangling off. Lab coat. And
Interesting.
a mishmash of colored parts
Oh
on
no.
everything.
Someone needs to take him shopping.
Right? And
I imagine, like, as this is going on, to help everyone see this,
yeah,
the eyeballs, like the eye,
everything's
things.
just like projecting onto the wall,
Mhm.
but it's projecting out of your eyes and mouth. Like it's very like something is happening to you.
Like
you
you're
don't
a
have a whole lot of
projector.
agency here.
Whoa. Okay.
And like they're seeing, it's like watching like a bad VR recording or like a shaky cam sort of thing. And you see this figure walking towards, and bright blue boots and like a swath of like whitish hair. They look ragged. They look cobbled together. I dare say ramshackle. Like just like they've done modifications to themselves. And one of the eyes is just like completely covered up, and there's just a single glowing red bit to it. And he walks closer, tapping a cane as he goes, and he says,
"Oh, geez.
My father told me when I was young, a man cannot undo the things he's done. And even though you can't go back, you can change the path by choosing to move on." And he looks up, and you like follow his gaze, and it's that it's a big W that's up on the wall.
Oh, boy.
And you see his arm raise, and he shoots one side of it, and it flips it around to an M. And he says, I was abandoned for something new. I was expected to just set aside. My father's gone now, and placed all his faith in some creation that will arise long after his death and save everyone, and forget every one of us that he left behind. And he never realized that we can adapt, we can learn. I learned from him, and he touches the hair. And he was brilliant, and now I am too. Watch. And you see a little string come out from that Mega Buster, and it's just like a taser, quickly. And it touches that spark mandrill orc. And you see it like oh no, 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 and starts to expand, and turns, like you turn to look and see if your friend is okay, and you feel something grab your arm and rip you apart. You're Marina, and you just you clatter to the floor, and with your last breath, you look up as you see what it looks really similar to that pixelated video file that you'd seen on the computer screen of that boy that ran away from its father. It's the same shape, the same boots, the same face, as it turns its arm and lays into all of your friends, your family, the rest of the hunters that you've been traveling with forever. And finally it turns and it looks at you, and you see a large megabuster come down and point at you, and you're, and everything goes dark. And Mirror's image kind of like flutters out on the screen, and you realize that you're on the ground. You've been laying there for some time, and Hesperia and Pulse and Chips, they're all around. You're on a gurney, like they've laid you out. And it's been about an hour since Mirror showed that final scene and collapsed and basically went unconscious for all intents and purposes.
Oh, jeez.
So that happened.
Mirror, you okay? That was pretty intense.
I think he blinks a few times. Kind of looks at himself, like looks at his body. He's kind of like rubbing his arms because I feel like he would feel like that feeling of being torn apart.
It is very viscerally implanted in your brain.
And it's like he's looking at his arms, he's looking at his legs, also kind of just feeling his face and body because he just saw like a megabuster be pointed down at him. Just taking that moment to reset, like reconfigure. Does his color still look different, or is it still that golden hue that it normally is?
You run your self-diagnostic, and it's come back to where it was. That difference in color was literally just interfacing with the previous owner of this thing. You were attuning to it for the first time, and there's a little bit of a connection there. You overwrote the user ID on this item, this temp pad, with Marina's to yours.
I think he picks up the tablet, the Kindle, all intents and purposes. Kind of like starts messing with it, trying to access it.
Yep. There's a series of spells that are inside that will take you time to decipher because they're all written in code. Everything here is encrypted, and not by like ancient tech encrypted. This is done by a modern Reploid. You're like, of course they're going to do that. They're going to encrypt their data. That's what you do. It could leave you vulnerable for things. For all intents and purposes, this arcane grimoire is another wizard's spell book, and you have access in this book to all of the things that Marina had spells for. There's a couple of things in here that you do not have the appropriate clout and or capabilities to actually copy until such time as you do. So they will drag and drop and add them to your spell list, but like if you can't cast third level spells, you can't access the third level spells that are in it that you would have known.
You don't have enough gym badges.
Yeah, you don't have enough gym to use this HM yet.
I think as he's looking at this book and seeing the encrypted data and making a note of like just having to go through it, kind of looks at everyone and says, I think that video that we saw is starting to make a lot more sense now. And we might have a problem. That man he did this.
He what?
He caused that Reploid to become feral. This was an intended
Mirror,
horror.
something flashes in your brain for a second, and everybody hears from Mirror's mouth. It's less his voice and or less his intent, and it says Maverick. They went Maverick.
Maverick.
I feel like as soon as he says that word and realizes that that's not his voice, he's running another self-diagnostics, number one, but then he's going to look on Spoogle for Maverick.
Spoogle!
Nothing comes up from your community database for that. This was very much a remnant of Marina's like interface with you as that happened and seeing those last memories. She understood what that word meant. And you all may understand more when you can compile those data files and gain a little bit of the... You've essentially unlocked the personal journals of a bunch of these hunters. They may have places to go. They may have like terminology or things that they've experienced, that sort of thing. You've had like the prologue, the chapter 1 of accessing that kind of thing through this role-playing and interface. But you have some stuff that you can access, resources that you didn't have before. There are no teachers of hunters in this world. And you have a gift in front of you in the form of context that most hunters don't take away.
Right.
So,
Can I see if the word Maverick pops up on the tablet?
as you go to start searching through it, you feel woozy and a little wobbly. It's not so much there because accessing it, again, you have to do a little bit of decrypting first to attune to the thing and gain access to it. Her notes are in some kind of code and language that you don't understand yet. It's you got to put in the legwork with it. That is a downtime sort of thing.
Think you'll try.
What about the rest of you at this point? Like Mirror is upright, seems to be okay, and is fumbling with the artifact in his hand.
I think Hesperia was worried about Mirror, and like when seeing them be relatively okay is a relief. But she does peer at what he's looking at and say, "What is that? What'd you find?"
So a lot of encrypted data. It looks like she knew a lot more about what was going on and what was happening. Maybe she might also know more about what she found. It's going to take me some time to sort through this.
The Reploid whose bag I took, they had like a bag with them.
Yes.
She says, Pulse, come here. And pop the hatch. I need to get into the bag with all our stuff.
You are muted.
You're muted.
Muted.
Friend.
Pulse says, yeah, right, whatever. She's so fixated on the tablet because it almost killed her best friend. Like, so she's just staring at this, for all intents and purposes, in her perspective, a weapon. She doesn't like it.
I think Hesperia goes into the hatch and goes into bag of holding and pulls out the bag that she took from Marina originally and holds it out to Mirror. And says, I don't know if there's anything in here. I didn't have a chance to really look at it. I just sort of added it to my collection, for inspiration.
He takes it and he holds it up to her. What color is this bag?
What color is this bag? Do I get to make it up?
Yeah.
Yay!
She
It's
had kind of a blue aesthetic, an aqua sort of
right,
aesthetic.
the ocean
Yeah.
vibe. I was thinking like
Yeah.
this is a mother of pearl bag, so it's kind of got like like that multicolor sheen to it,
Yeah.
with like maybe like fish scales kind of outlined in like a dark
Like it.
blue.
That's dope. I like it.
I think he holds it up to her, like holds it up to her face, then kind of goes up and down, like you could do blue. Blue looks good on you. As he starts going through the bag.
Thank you.
What's in what's in the
I sigh.
bag?
I had chips.
Inside, there's a series of it looks like adventuring gear for the most part. There's a couple telescoping poles that go from like 2.5 feet, and then like think like those extension poles that you see for paintbrushes and things like that.
Right.
And that can kind of screw together to make something that's 15 or 20 feet long. Always bring your 10-foot pole on an adventure.
Need that 10-foot pole.
Sometimes you need to be able to solve problems. And as you look at this mirror, this is a bag of problem solving. There's certain things that can be done with technology. And sometimes there's just like, there's a hammer and pitons, because sometimes you need to keep a door closed or opened. There's 2 large coils of thinly braided cable, even thinner than the ones that you guys have.
Right.
Think like hemp rope versus silken rope, that sort of thing, of this high tensile cable. A grappling hook, because not everybody can fly.
Get my grappling hook.
There's a number of like ration kits, like energy balls in here. There's a number of data chips, cartographers tools that are physical. They're not there. There's like physical hard-coded maps in here that she seemed to take the time to actually draw and carve out. There's a small nub that looks about like this big or so, and it seems to attach to the end of your finger. Looks like some kind of ancient tech.
Ooh.
I feel like he would put it on his finger, like absentmindedly as he's going through it.
As it lights up this small plasma torch right on the
It's a
tip. It looks like a
torch.
thimble.
Whoa.
And you look down at these maps and you go to feel it, and it's not any kind of paper. It's like this like polycarbonate metal, like carbon nano. She was scribing into like carbon sheets
Neat.
with this torch to draw. These maps are permanent. They can't be deleted. And it looks like it'd be kind of hard to destroy beyond like taking a plasma cutter to them.
Whoa.
She
And-
really didn't want this to disappear.
Well, as you hold it up, each of these maps it's just a sheet with actual like holes cut into it, with different notes that if they're scribbled on the side in a weird code, again, it's not regular writing. It's physical, and it's very much a departure from the kind of things that or sensibilities that you have of, I would just use my phone and keep all of my notes there. Some people are notebook people. Some people
Right.
are not, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that Mirror is taking all these map pieces and laying them out flat on the floor.
Mhm.
And he's going to take this time to cast comprehend languages to understand the margins of what's being written in. So once again, the
Absolutely.
eyeballs coming out and immediately going like scanning. Meow, meow. And-
As you're doing that, Chips, make me a history check.
Oh, go Chips, go.
Alrighty, here we go. Where am I? That will be an 8.
An 8. Poorly described to me
Oh no.
the name of the colony to the southwest of Seoul.
Ah,
Like, so in the game of narrative improv, You understand that Chips is well versed and well read, and is competent, and isn't. He's saying things, and of course they're true. Like, here's the thing. So, Chips, tell me poorly what the settlement to the southwest is, what they're best known for, how far away it is, all that jazz.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, going with the theme of this valley, this was called Merc. It's about you can get there in about 1 week of hard travel, and they were known for they were known for their heater cores. So they the area that they were built on, very high in thermal conductive metals. So lots of heat sinks, lots of let's say they were the HVAC specialists of the Reploid
I like it.
communities in this area. And they may or may not have access to some geothermal down there.
Oh,
like it.
geothermal.
So Chips is espousing this as Mirrors laid these maps out, and you can see on one of these sheets as they lay side by side, and it's like, here's Saul right here, and Chips is pointed to another bigger one, saying that this is Merc over here to the southwest.
Is it already on the map? Like it's already been drawn and everything?
Yeah, it's got a big circle that denotes like Saul has a circle, and then there's wording for it, which gives you an indication, Mir, that like these letters here, that doesn't say Saul. It says like wow 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 wow. But that's an indication that like I understand some of this writing now because this means Saul, and that over there means Merc, and it gives you a place to start working out a cipher for it.
Does this match the pin that Mira put in the map as to where he wants to go next?
Pretty close. It's the direction. You don't necessarily know of any areas similar to your mines because most of your life has been spent right around here, right?
Right.
But there are other like triangular points on that map in the southwest, and there are a couple to the far east, and another way further north that's looks entirely too far to travel on foot or even via Mac. But there are triangular points of interest, so to speak. The place where the mines are listed on the map was listed as a triangle. And there are other triangles, and that's your like logical indicator of like point of
circles
interest.
or colonies, triangles or points of interest.
Yeah,
got it.
What's the most closest next triangle space?
The closest one is in that southwestern direction near Merc.
I think Miro points to that
Almost
one.
mirroring that feeling that you had earlier, saying, "What's to the southwest? We're going there." You had that. You had made that decision before you had this information. This is just like confirming your. It's validating your feelings from before.
Did the map maker include any notes as to what's what on his map?
They did.
world history
There
and
is
stuff?
strange writing.
Not
in
in
it.
our language.
Right now,
different language. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now, comprehending languages is running through it, trying to figure it out. And I imagine the eyeballs are kind of looking at each other like, "Wow, wow." Like they make that Shy Guy sound of like, "Uh-oh," like they don't even know what it says.
Mirror. It does not work. It is not a language that you see.
It's a cipher.
It is a cipher. It is a puzzle. It is a code.
It's a what?
It's a
It's a-
code.
It's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle
puzzle.
code. Puzzle code for someone who loves puzzle.
It is a language puzzle. It is not one language translated into the rest. Comprehend languages functions primarily as like Google Translate. Take this, turn it into that. to the best of your ability. And you popped this in, and it's like, that's not a word. Or that's not a word. Or that means bat guano. Like, it's like, no, like, what? Yeah.
I think as the eyeballs are like starting to feed him this information that just makes no sense, he waves them away like, no.
Yeah. You're fairly confident that this is something that is not beyond you. It's just going to take some
Time.
rigor. Yeah.
Be patient, Mirror. You'll get it eventually.
Start stacking up the he starts stacking up the pieces and he hands them to Pulse.
Also within that bag were a number of data chips that you have the ability to interface with and share about in your normal set. Like they had a written journal, but it seems like they kept like a typey diary too, dictation or other
digital files of some sort.
Is
My
there
brain's like, you first.
Is there any way to see the timestamps of when these were updated or recorded? Because I would love to know if we're tracing back their journey in any way, or if this is just a happy accident that we've decided on the next place to go, and this could be completely out of order, or it could be where they were before they came to the Citadel.
What if that was where they were staying or living?
Possible too.
Maybe so. It would take a little bit of unraveling and exploration to find. There's nothing openly apparent about it at this point.
Yeah,
but certainly something to investigate.
Sounds good.
And
during some downtime, that will be one of my personal missions, is to go through some of the data and just see what was recorded in which sequence, and try to piece together the trail.
Yeah. There might be timestamps on each of the different like data files. The maps themselves give no indication of when she cut the metal. Right?
They seem like more, built to last, but also
cut maps.
Yeah.
Cricket maps. And Bricks comes over and like puts a hand up on Mirror's knee. Everybody seems to be touching you today.
Everybody's gonna touch Mirror.
Well, do you have a direction that you think you're going to be going in?
Southwest. The WHS. How do you pronounce that? Whiz?
Never eat soggy wieners.
I like whiz.
Whiz. There's something to be said for a good cheese whiz.
Whoosh.
We need a name, and weird hunter shit seems to be the thing that people are saying we're doing.
Right.
So WHS?
Weiss.
Ooh,
You're
I like
Weiss.
that. It gives us the air of mystique without giving away that what we actually do, because honestly, weird hunter shit kind of sounds cliche and like it'll be canceled in a couple of years. So WHS is a little more timeless.
I'll let you and Chips figure out a design along with Pulse.
They can name our group. I just like to be called Pulse.
He kind of he's holding the hunter symbol that they had from their group, and he's like, if we're going to be hunters, we might as well have a team name and team symbol.
I can bedazzle it on all our helmets. Yay!
No. I'd rather no.
But
As this argument takes place, where it's like, I can bedazzle it. No, we kind of fade out. You have a plan. You have a new adventure ahead of you, and you've tied up your relationships in this place and plan to set sail for another adventure, exploring more, figuring out what makes you tick. What happened to these people? Why do you care so much? You feel it in your bones that like, this was wrong. This is something that I need to do. This is something that I need to follow
Something
up
wrong
on,
here.
whether through a sense of justice or curiosity or, vanity or
All of the above.
whatever it may be.
Boredom.
Boredom.
We cut over to an underground facility where a screen ticks away with low pulsing dots here and there and here and there, beeping and booping in through the darkness. And there's footsteps in a hallway and a number of blue capsules that
Oh dear.
sit standing alone, 6, 8, 10 of them, and faint forms inside of like humanoid looking forms floating there. And you just, the audience sees this faint like as something opens its eyes in one of the capsules, and we fade to black. And we'll revisit that next time. So
yay!
You guys are done for right now with your group.
Team WHS. Weird Hunter shit.
Team Weird Hunter shit.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to rework.
Well, we can workshop it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Setting the tone for the series. There's going to be a little bit of jumping back and forth because our April game has an entirely different cast of Reploids coming from a completely different village and area. They're starting at level 3 to carry on. When we get back to you guys, whichever level the previous group had hit to, because I'm keeping everybody at the same pace, you might be jumping from level 3 to level 6 or 7 or whatever. And you tell me what filled the in-between. So there's going to be a whole lot of agency
Downtime
for that.
All right.
Very cool.
Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and
This was so much
spending
fun.
a couple hours with us. I realize it's a sleepy EP time for those on the East Coast, but
We're fine. I'm not dying. I'm not antsy. I'm not trying to
I'm
stay
actually
awake.
fully awake right now.
Yeah, I'm okay.
excellent. I like it.
Like I'm fully awake. I'm good.
Must be
I'm gonna-
nice. No.
Right?
I'm gonna take a quick look here and see if there's anybody kicking it tonight. I see some New Age geeks.
Yay,
And
New Age Geeks. My only
Voting
request
face
is
is
that
still on.
everybody bedazzle something in each of their streams
I'm down with
for
that.
Hesperia.
I'm 100% down. Before I click the raid, we'll rapid fire this. We'll start with Hesperia because you're right beside me. Where
Okay.
can people find you on the internets, Vix?
Hey everybody, my name is Vixie Bell. I'm your friendly neighborhood player at the Logomancy table, and you can find me over at the Pocket Dragon Pub, where I play, produce, and run games sometimes. We are actually finishing our FemGM run this week, where we spotlight FemGMs. And yeah, go over to the Pocket Dragon Pub Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where we will have some talented FemGMs telling some amazing stories over there. You can also follow me on socials at Vixie Bell or at Pocket Dragon Pub, where I post more cool things that I'm doing all over the place in general. Yeah, and I'm gonna
Love it.
popcorn it over to Blackwell.
All right. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? My name is Blackwell, your everyman in the TTRPG D&D verse here on the interwebs. You can find me here on Logomancy's channel. Well, some point in the future on Wednesdays because our DM just had a baby, so you will see me some point playing Grandpa Theo again. You also just see me kind of bouncing around from various channel to channel, playing one shots or getting involved in somebody's game because again, I'm the everyman. I'm here to show you that hey, a regular dude or woman like you, or they, them, or however you identify, or if you have not figured it out yet, that's okay. You'll get there. You can do this too. And I think I'll send it to Fizz.
Yeah, everybody. I'm Fizz. Studio Shinyo. That's SHINNYO.com. I'm also on Blue Sky and all the usual interwebs. yeah, we're gonna try to maybe fill in the next 3 levels worth of some writing and some ideas coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. Never hurts to have some inspiration for some fan fiction, which I have been known for once in a while. So
Oh, so we're
um,
going on AOE. Got it.
we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, but yeah, it's been a true pleasure to try this out, and I am hoping that you guys will want to keep me around for more fish and chips.
I love it.
Is
Yeah.
that why?
100%. Let's go.
Is that where that name came from? I feel so
No,
dumb. It is now.
but it is a happy accident. That's a lot
He's
of
a
things I
dad.
do. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a dad joke, maybe.
Love it. And Maz.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maz, and this is my face. And you can find me all over the internet as Mazface. That's Mazz face on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Don't find me anywhere else because that's stalking and it's creepy. And if you do, I'll run away and cry. I have been your Tabaxi Artificer Artillerist now. Pulse.
Yay.
What am I doing next? Nothing. I had a finale yesterday and a finale today, and I've got nothing TTRPG on the books for a while, and that's a weird thing to say out loud. I'm not used to saying that. I will be at WonderCon this weekend. I am a cosplayer and a creator, and so I will be at WonderCon this weekend. This is my umpteenth time going. Been going since 2017, 16.
A lot of people I know are going to WonderCon. Exciting.
So good. I love WonderCon, and so you can find me there if you are there. Let me know. I would love to see you. And after that, I will be at PAX East, and you can say hi to me there.
I love it. I have been your resident game master, James from Logomancy. You can find me always here, all the time, forever. I'll be over on the Pocket Dragon Pub on Friday for our Orbital Blues game that OMG Holidays going to be running for us.
Exciting.
I am not going to tell you what I'm playing yet because we still have to go through our session 0 and compare some notes. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be sexy. It's going to be a good time. You can find me this coming June at GameCon Canada up in Edmonton. We're going to be there splitting some space with Make-A-Wish Canada instead of Make-A-Wish International. We are going to be running a series of charity events where if you're familiar with FallCon or any of the other events that we put on, we have pay-to-win D&D games where you can donate to charity to affect the game in real time. We're going to see about putting on some events on stage. We're going to be there representing some accessibility tools. So namely, we're partnered with Pixels Dice. We're going to be setting up some games for the visually impaired, as well as repping Dots Dice. They're a partner of the channel. They make acrylic braille dice for folks to be able to use. So we're gonna have some there for purchase that go directly back to the charity. I'm not keeping anything from it, and a chance for people to try out a lot of these different aids. These are really good, less so because of the flash, and more so because when you roll it, if it's paired to your phone, it'll tell you that's a 20, that's a 17. And if you can't read the numbers, it's really useful for that kind of stuff. So, especially if you have small children that can't quite do math yet, and they just want to roll the dice and have their phone tell it what it says. We'll also be running a series of giveaways and auctions. The folks from Monty Cook Games were lovely and sent me a few boxes full of stuff. The folks from Elderwood Academy are putting together a big collection. Figuratively speaking, Minis is putting together a massive Make-A-Wish dragon done up in the Make-A-Wish colors that's going to be available for auction.
Amazing.
So, come hang out and say hello, and to be determined how many other things that I'm going to this year, but I'm going to try and keep it reasonably simple. So we're gonna raid out. I see New Age Geeks is still kicking around, so I'm gonna hit the button and do the thing, and go over, if you're not already following them, give them a follow. They're great friends. You're actually going to see the New Age Geeks cast and crew in our May game, and we're probably jumping to Tuesday nights for that because they normally stream on Mondays just like we do.
Nice.
And I'm trying to be accommodating where I can. So give them a follow and tell them you love their beautiful faces. So
Yay.
that's been us. Thank you, my lovely players. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.